All right, here we go. The mighty return of Tony Yayo.
Listen, back by popular demand. Everywhere I go on the streets, they say I see that Vlad interview is one of the best interviews for the year, so I got to give it up. Everybody give it up for Vlad. Come on.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, remember, before you sat down, I'm like, this is going to be your biggest interview ever.
You did say that.
I did say that.
You did say that.
And it was true.
And definitely 100%. Everywhere I go on the streets, the fans, I love that Vlad interview. A lot of people didn't know the history of G-Unit and all the beefs and all the drama that we went through, and we actually survived it. Because, like I said, I remember times back in the days where we had 14 guns on the bus, but we had God with us. We had 14 guns on the tour bus. Just like Bobby Smurda and them, just like all these artists now, we did it. And we the first ones to kind of put it in the videos and stuff, like not to glorify it, but you know, when 50 had his beef, shit was all real. It wasn't no prop guns. All them guns were real.
Oh, yeah.
But now you fast forward to now, we got a lot to talk about because I just came off a tour.
Right.
You know what I mean? Should I give it the credit for that? Just came off a tour.
A major European tour.
Definitely. We went to London, which I love London because London is like New York City without the guns. You know
Knives. They got knives
over
knives.
There. A motherfucker will stab you 30 times in London. But if London had guns, it would be ridiculous.
Right.
That's another thing that I like about overseas. Like, they have weapons, but not like America.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, you're in Europe, you're just kind of, you're watching your back, of course. Because like I said, you could get beat up, stabbed, whatever. But, it's, you know, it might be a terrorist here and there, but it's real. It's not a lot of guns.
Oh,
like even in Norway, I'm gonna give you an example. Norway, the police in Norway, Oslo, they have to, was it Norway? No, I think it might have been Denmark. It was somewhere where they have to, the police actually leave their guns in the precinct when they go home. So they're not even allowed to take the weapons with them. Like, it's like not a lot of weapons out there like that.
Yeah, I remember there was a story I heard in one of your interviews where you said you almost got stabbed by a comb in Amsterdam.
Yeah, Amsterdam. Yeah,
prison
yeah, we was
combs.
in Amsterdam and some kid, I guess he was a troublemaker, and he like pulled out a comb and like it was crazy. Then he called his man Izzy. Izzy looked like Debo coming down the steps. It was a crazy story.
Yeah, man. And I was watching some of the Instagram photos and so forth. Like you guys went to Israel.
Israel was definitely experienced because it's somewhere where, you know, they always say in media training, don't talk about religion and politics like that. But I never really took media training. But it's somewhere where religion is like real serious.
Oh yeah, you never been before? That was your first time?
That was my first time. I went to Tel Aviv.
Oh yeah. Jerusalem.
Yeah, I gotta say thanks 50. Thanks 50. Because we had the dope rooms, me and Murda. We looked over the, I think that's the Mediterranean Sea right there. So we had all glass balconies. It was crazy. We were right on the beach, Mediterranean Sea, and then we took a drive down to Jerusalem, and we went to the 16th chapels. So this is where Jesus was sacrificed, cleansed.
Yep.
Where he was locked up at, and they had 16 churches in there. It was amazing. They had art from 450 years ago. It was so many churches. It was so many churches in one church.
Yeah. You're talking about the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I've been there. That's actually, that church was built on the spot where Jesus was crucified.
Right.
And in fact, his tomb allegedly is there. I think there's a picture of you.
Yeah, the tomb we went, you have to literally crawl under and go to his tomb. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm Catholic and I felt something when I went in there.
Yeah.
And where he was sacrificed, I felt something. It was like kind of unexplainable. And it's like, nothing could be fake about this. This churches look so old. And we got Muslim stuff out there too, because Muslims are there, Palestinian, Jewish. You got Catholic. It's all religion. So I'm gonna give you an example. When we went to the Jewish part, security seen me. I had a Muslim wrap on, and he said, "Yo, you gotta take that off, bro."
Yeah.
When we went to the Jewish wall, he said, "Yo, you gotta."
Yeah, the wailing wall is what it's called.
Take that off.
Yep.
So I took mine off. It was wrapped. I like, and Murder came and another security guard changed, but he was a fan. So he was like, nah, you don't have to take it off. But walking through there, you should have seen how they was looking at Murder with the Muslim garment on going through the Jewish part of the Jewish wall. It was amazing. It was like they had books outside and they was praying, little kids was praying, and I never seen anything like that. And then across the bridge is actually the mosque.
Yeah.
to the Muslim side.
Right, where they say that God actually created the earth. There was like the rock
Right.
of life is in that dome, and that's the point that that's where Muslims believe God created the earth. So
Right.
it's a very special place.
I think the best thing about the music business is the travel, because you know the fake friends go, the women can go, the cars can go, the jewelry can go, the money can go. But I mean, your travel experience, we talking about places that our parents never been. My mom travels with her church, so she went to Israel and goes to these places. But a lot of people don't get chances to actually go to these places. Like actually, this time we went to Paris. We went to the Louvre.
Yeah.
And to see the Mona Lisa, and security knew me.
Yeah, I heard you had a private tour
Yeah.
of the Mona Lisa. And the thing is, me and you were talking.
Thanks, 50.
I was just in Paris not too long ago,
Right.
and we went to the Louvre,
Right.
general admission, and the Mona Lisa is a zoo. There's
Right.
literally like 300
seen
people
how-
cramming to
look,
try
you
to
should've
see it.
seen-
You were there
it's a-
solo, so I'm like, shit.
It's a small world, because we had our people with us, and then we had, people that work for us. And shout to Jen, she came to the line. She works with us and stuff, and she spoke to security, told them, Yayo's here, and they happen to be fans. Because overseas, they'll treat you. When you go to Europe, it's like, in America, with hip hop music, I believe it lasts longer in Europe. Like, I done been to Europe and seen J. Rue the Damager, KRS-One, Boys to Men. And they're all making a living overseas because they kind of appreciate the music a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, jazz music is still big in Europe,
Right.
like in France and everything.
Right.
Whereas over here, it's like something.
And shout out to all them groups that's still touring. Like, that's timeless music. Like Boys to Men, come on, J. Rue the Damager.
Yeah.
We talking about the 80s, and a lot of people. And that's the thing now. What's the difference between hip hop and rap? I feel like back in the days, hip hop was like more of an art form. Like, you had graffiti, breakdancing. You had the DJs that cut shit up. Like, watching Video Music Box. And a lot of people don't give Ralph McDaniels his flowers while he's here. Because Ralph McDaniels was BET before BET is what it was with Video Music Box. So shout out to Ralph McDaniels.
Yep. I've interviewed him before.
Yeah,
he was a
to
big
me-
influence
to
on me.
To me, he's one of the biggest dudes, one of the biggest pillars in hip hop. Because Video Music Box is before BET, before MTV Raps. And as a kid, that's what we watched. The greats, Rakim, Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane. I met Kane, straight up groupie, Cool G Rap groupie.
Yeah, I mean, these are all legends.
I remember, and shout to your boy, I see you in NLE Choppers. Let's clap it up for that. Y'all don't got beef, because Vlad has the most, you got a lot of beef out here. But your security is right. Security don't play. But
Yeah, shout out to NLE Chopper. We had a little back and forth.
I met
in.
him. He came to 50's premiere, and Big Daddy Kane and Cool G Rap was there.
Oh, okay.
And he came, and Kane was performing, and I'm like, yo, you don't know who that is? And he was like, I don't know what's going on. That's what the nigga said. So I said, yo, that's the first dude to really mess with Madonna. He's the man. He was like, for real? I thought it was Tupac. I said, no. Big Daddy Kane. I said, he's the one that started him and Slick Rick.
Yeah, the big chains.
Him and Slick Rick are the pillars of that shit, man.
Yep.
They started that. Well, everybody had the Trunk Jewelry, Run DMC, everybody, because, that's my favorite rap group of all time, Run DMC. Huh?
Run DMC had the ropes. I think that Big Daddy Kane brought like the medallions. Remember, he had like the
Definitely, because he had that Nefertiti piece was ridiculous.
Right, yep.
And Slick Rick, come on, he was just like,
Yeah. He was
like Mr. T of the rap shit.
he was bigger than Mr. T in terms of jewelry.
Right.
Well, our last interview was epic.
Perfect.
One of our biggest interviews of the year, actually.
Definitely, it was definitely it's like my comeback interview. I call that one.
Right. And you actually became a meme from that interview.
Definitely on TikTok. Shout out to everybody on TikTok. I didn't know it was going to go that far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that look you gave me. Remember? Me and you were talking, and me and you were like debating over something. I sent you a picture of yourself. Like.
Yeah. It was crazy. I didn't, you never know what's going to go viral now. The game's change. I just know the times change. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was actually this meme that was going viral on Twitter. Remember, I sent it to you.
Right.
And it was about, Kyrie playing, in the Drew League.
Right.
And it was like Kyrie Irving, ISO. The Drew Player League guarding was like, come on, dog. My family in the bleachers watching.
Right. Yeah, I reposted that one. That was crazy. Shout out to Kyrie.
No doubt. Well, usually I mention stuff like this at the end.
Right.
But just yesterday, Jaydayoungan got killed.
Yeah.
I've interviewed him before. Maybe about 4 years ago.
Florida, right?
No,
Louisiana.
Yeah,
Louisiana. Yeah, definitely. I'm from
24 years old. Him and his dad got shot. I guess his dad survived.
Right.
He died of his injuries.
But I thought there was 2 stories saying that he wasn't breathing and...
He's dead now.
Damn, rest in peace to him, man. Sorry, man. But you know, as you know, rappers, man, targets, man.
Well, yeah, I actually went through all the Queens rappers who got killed in Queens.
Oh, we got Freaky Ty, we got Jim Master J, we got Chinks,
Stack Bundles.
Stack Bundles. But you gotta understand this, man. Like, one thing that I respect about 50 is 50 knows, like, once you get to a certain level, you kind of got to get out the hood. Rest in peace, Stack. Stack was in the projects. You know, Edgeman, 40s, Hamels, those are real dangerous places. So a lot of artists, it's like, you want to go back to your hood and show love, but it's like, you know what I mean? Can you? Because, you know, I remember the first time, and a lot of people don't know the story, that 50 went to Diddy. 50 went to Diddy. We was going to, we went to, for Bad Boy. A lot of people don't know that. We had the meeting, and it was so crazy that Diddy didn't sign him. I know that was one of the biggest mistakes of Bad Boy. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the Preem situation, and, you know, a lot of people were scared of Preem. 50 wasn't. So it was just like, you know, and I remember Diddy said this. He don't even remember. He said the 3 things people hate about rappers. He's like, yo, we can't sign you, Playboy. It's too much. He was like, it's too much drama, like, you know, with the Biggie stuff and all that. And I was just looking like, damn, this he, you know what I'm saying?
But what do you mean drama with the Biggie stuff?
Because we came to Diddy. 50 came
after Biggie got killed?
That was one of the meetings that we had.
Okay.
With
what year was this?
I don't know what year it was. We had a meeting with Diddy. It was me and 50 there.
Okay.
And 50 went, he took the meeting out of respect. He had deals all over the table. I wasn't saying he was going to take the deal. He might have not. But Diddy didn't want to take the deal because all the drama. But 50 was the hottest nigga on the planet.
Okay, was How to Rob out at this point?
Nah, this is after How to Rob. This is after he got shot, and he had all the mixtape shit on Smash. Like every bootleg.
Okay, right. So D-Dot was already working with 50, and because
D-Dot was working with 50 on How to Rob.
That's what I'm saying. He produced How to Rob. So and D-Dot is one of the hitmen. So there's that whole Puffy
I don't know,
connection.
but I know he had the meeting because you know 50 wrote for Diddy before, so they had the meeting.
Oh yeah, right.
50 wrote for Diddy
that.
before.
Yeah,
You forgot way back.
Way back, yeah.
It might have been Make This Money, Take This Money, one of them joints. 50 wrote for Diddy before, and what I'm saying is, out that meeting, he said, yo, people, 3 things about rappers: bank accounts, bitches, and Bentleys. And that always stayed in my head. We ain't had no money at that point, but it stayed in my head like, and later on I had what he said. I had bank account, bitches, and Bentleys. So, and that makes you a target. I've been shot at numerous times, but you know, I say them prayers before I leave the house.
How many times have you been shot at, if you were to count?
I'll say maybe a good 4 or 5. I don't know. Something like that.
You never been hit?
Never. Thank God.
Have you actually heard the bullets whiz by you?
Yeah, of course. Sometimes, yeah.
Like I've heard stories. Well, like I've heard stories like people have been shot at where they'll actually feel the whizzing and they'll hear.
That's like my car got shot up in Harlem. Shout to Harlem. You know what I mean? Because the motherfuckers are sneaky. Them blocks back there, I always knew them blocks is like sneaky. You can't sleep in Harlem. So, like after we had I had words with henchmen. You know, I'm not indicted. It's all in paperwork, so I'm not like and saying anything. But the car got shot up. I'm not saying who did it or whatever.
We talked about this last time. Right. It was after the mixtape.
Yeah, the car got shot up. Mixtape awards, but the shooter was so ill that like he just ran up the block that he knew, and it was like, you know, I told you, my guy was like, run him over, and I was just like, it don't even make sense. We might hit somebody else trying to, let's just get out of here. But luckily I didn't get in that Bentley. Because everybody knows, you know how New York is, man. It's that, and that's the thing with the rappers, like, the cars is what identify you. 50, you heard them say it back in the days. We switch up cars to stay off the radar. Sometimes you a rapper, you gotta get that hoopty too. You got that Bentley and shit, you got that flashy shit, that's what's gonna tell you home. They know your car. So it's like every time a rapper get a car, they know your car. Stack Bundles, Porsche. Chinks, Porsche. You know what I mean?
I remember when Stack Bundles got killed, I talked to one of his friends and he was saying, you know, because you mentioned the Porsche, which kind of brought back a memory.
Right.
They were so jealous of him that they like put like sugar in his gas tank and scratched up his Porsche and shit like that.
He was the next one.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at Jim Jones' setup, he had the dream team at that point to me.
Stack Bundles.
He had Stack Bundles and Max B.
Max B, yeah.
I brought Max B and French to 50 early. A lot of people don't remember that. You know what I'm saying? I was on J. Cole early When J. Cole was in 50 crib, he was in the basement playing Simba and all that before he was signed with Jay.
I heard about this.
I was on Danny Brown early. I was on Nicki early. I was on a lot of early because that's one of my talents is finding the next ones. It's easy. You know, that was one of my things.
But none of those guys got locked in, unfortunately. Or girls.
Nah. Like Chinks was the next one. And Pop Smoke was the next one.
Yeah. Well, Pop Smoke was already on his way.
Yeah, because New York was definitely it's on its way back to, you know, Pop Smoke, you know. We still got a lot of dope artists.
Yeah.
You know, TJ, A Boogie, you got, you know, Fabio, you got, you know, Rowdy and Smurda, you know, you got Chef, Sleepy Hollow, Salada, you know, Booba Savage. You got a lot of, you know what I'm saying, Dougie B. It's just a lot. I think New York is on the come up right now with the drill music. What you feel about the drill music?
I mean, as someone who grew up with gangster rap, I understand it and I respect it. I just feel that with the advent of social media and the way that it all gets pumped up by the fans and everything else like that, that there's sometimes really bad results that happen.
But they just talking about what's in the environment. That's like when 50 was talking about Many Men and what's going through him, he's just expressing what's going on in the environment.
Yeah, I mean, 50 was
because you got to understand, to me, it's all about the environment. When you leave the environment, it's totally different. And you know what I'm talking about. When you know, I'm straight from the hood. So when you left that environment, see, when I came home, the difference between me and the other rappers was that 50 made sure we had condos in the city, Battery Park. Come out the building, you see the Statue of Liberty. So I always thank 50. You see the Statue of Liberty. We set up where ain't no shootings over there. You could walk out there barefoot. Little kids are walking out there barefoot and stuff. I thought somebody farted over there. My bad. But little kids walking out there barefoot and stuff. So we had the setup. See, maybe at that time, I don't know, no disrespect to Jim, he may not have the resources to say, hey, yo, Stack, I'm gonna get you out the projects. Forget the Porsche. Let's get you in a condo. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fifth had us in a condo in Battery Park.
Yeah, he was thinking ahead.
To shoot me there, it's a big risk, man.
Right.
You know, Statue of Liberty right there. So it's like I always thank 50, you know, because he had the setup and he always had the mind state like, yo, you know what? Let's invest in them bulletproof trucks. Which got shot at. I remember one time in Hot 97, I forgot her name. Somebody worked in there. She got in the back of the truck. She was like, yo, there's a bullet hole in the back of the truck. I'm like, yeah, it's bulletproof. A couple of people shot at it. It's okay. Oh, my God.
You had a bulletproof truck yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you a story. We had people from Hot 97. They needed a ride. They got in the car.
In your bulletproof truck?
In my bulletproof. And it was a bullet hole, like a 45 bullet hole in the back of that bitch. And she was like, there's a bullet in here. And I said, yeah, motherfucker shot at it. I mean, we was down with 50 Cent. We wasn't down with like Kanye and Common Sense, nigga. We was...
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember during my DVD days when I came in to interview you and I think Buck.
Right.
You walked into the G-Unit conference room.
Right.
You took off your jacket and then you took off your bulletproof vest.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, this wasn't a prop. This wasn't like a stage thing.
Nah,
like you actually were walking the streets with a bulletproof vest.
When you number one at top, motherfuckers is just going to take, they shot at you. 50 has always been a nigga that's been a nigga that's on the shit. So motherfuckers, you know, make up shit. Niggas snitching, niggas did. All that shit is lies, bro. I seen 50 be a real nigga with my own eyes. Like I seen him run blocks and knock niggas out, and I don't want to say too much, but I've seen it with my own two eyes. If I tell you, yo, this nigga's real, he's the real deal. I'm not gonna make up shit just because a nigga's my friend.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really doubts 50's, you know,
nah, 50 the real
pedigree,
deal.
Let's say. I don't think anyone has called him fake or
50,
anything else like that.
Burgundy minivan, Mac 10. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep. Well,
no AC. By himself.
Well, you know what's interesting? Since our last interview, we actually broke this story. But one of the men that's actually charged with killing Jam Master Jay, they're actually saying is now also tied to the murder of Stretch.
Yeah.
Who was Tupac's man, who's from Queens.
Well, no disrespect. You hear all this stuff in the streets already. So what I learned is like, if you hear it in the streets, the police know it already because the feds are super ill. I did Fed Times. You know, that's like the biggest gang ever. When they come for you, it's like, when you see the windbreakers at your door, it's just like, you just know, all right, cool. It's just time to go. Here's the cop out. Because you know they go by a point system. A lot of people don't know that. So a lot of kids get locked up. They don't understand them cases that you had previously. It's in a point system. So if the feds lock you up, they go by the point. So if you got a robbery, they might say, yo, you got 15, 20 points. Got another robbery, I was adding up to 60. So that's what gives you your time in the feds. And that's when they start talking about months. You got 200, 300 months. You be like, hold up, start adding this shit up.
Okay, so this is not new to you when I'm telling you this.
Yeah, this is like, I did a skid bit and like, I seen motherfuckers with like fucking boxes of wiretaps. Their friends wear wires on them. I'm like, what's that? Oh, these are my wiretap tapes.
Wow.
So it's like the feds are super ill. Like you'll hear stories of them, bugging the car. That's why we used to get in the car with 50. But shh.
You don't know.
You never,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
You have no
like,
idea. Like
the car could be, it could get bugged. Cause it's like, come on, after a certain amount of bodies, the feds are coming, they just watching. You just know that, huh?
Did you know Stretch at all?
Nah, I didn't know. Nah.
Okay, yeah. Because, the whole rumor around that was that Stretch got killed exactly 1 year after the Quad studio shooting with Tupac.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, oh, that was Tupac's revenge. Tupac didn't go to the funeral and so forth. So when this coming out, I feel it kind of almost like, got rid of the blame of Tupac.
But that street stories, there's so many stories in the streets, by the time it gets to you, it's 100 stories.
Right.
But you hear the stuff in the streets, so the feds are going to say it, and this nigga's crazy. Man. There's a lot to it, but all I can say is rest in peace, Jam Master Jay, he was a legend. But that goes back to being in the neighborhood. I seen it early with Freaky Ty. Freaky Ty got killed. I told you, he died at ODB Arms right in the hood, right?
Wait.
Right off the Van Wyck.
Old Dirty Bastard was there?
I think I told you that, yeah.
I think I missed that part.
Yeah,
Okay.
Freaky Ty. Because you remember, that's all from my hood. Like, Freaky Ty lived here, 134 is right here, where we all got money at. 50, that's 50 block. Other niggas had workers and all kind of shit. But Freaky Ty was right here. So I seen it early, like, all right, cool. Freaky Ty used to get on a dollar van and shout to his son and everybody from Southside, Lost Boys, you know what I'm saying? And Freaky Ty used to put niggas on a dollar van and buy them sneakers on the block. He used to be a real nigga. He was real. He wasn't no flashy nigga. He'll be on the block though, keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? So he'll spend his money and take all the little Lost Boy niggas and buy the motherfucking sneakers on a dollar van. I'm take $4 or $5 vans. He was a real nigga. But it's like when you be in your hood, it's like it's a catch-22 to everything in your life.
I mean,
I tell you that all the time.
Yeah.
You move out the hood, some motherfuckers don't kill you. I learned that from Fifth. And then you move to another hood where, people might treat you a little different.
Well, you still live in New York, right?
Yeah.
Did you see, number one, before I ask this question, overall, do you think that New York crime has gotten worse in the last couple of years?
Of course.
Right. Because just recently.
Because you got to look at this. There was no more stop and search, right? There was no more bail. Right. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers was catching cases, gun cases, and they getting out no bail, but a lot of people couldn't afford the bail. That's why that law was made. So it's like, is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, everyone's wearing masks now.
Yeah, and then in the Pooh Shiesty mask, come on. The mask. COVID really made it like that. And then it's like, yo, you got to look like this. We in a world right now where you go on Instagram and everybody's showing money and all that, right? Think about there's a motherfucker that want to take it.
Yeah. Pop Smoke.
Right? Yeah, rest in peace to Pop.
Yeah. And
them niggas sold his watch for what, $3,000? That watch was probably worth $60,000. So them little niggas it was some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like y'all didn't even know the value of the watch. So that just tells you how motherfuckers, especially these young niggas in the Bronx, the motherfuckers 12 years old, up in it.
Well, the crazy
12,
shit.
Listen, think about it. My son is 14. He's not in that environment. You understand what I'm saying? He know about video games and shit like that and fucking nice music and record players, and he's in that environment. What do you tell a kid that's in the Bronx in the hood where he got beef in his next building? That's their environment. So the whole goal is to take them kids and show them, yo, you can get out of this environment and turn into a whole nother person. But a lot of them kids are forced to have their hand on them every day. Well, so we judge, but you got to think of where they're from. If you take them out that environment, remember Mike Tyson's story? He used to go to the people's house upstate or whatever. They took him out of that environment and he learned other stuff.
Yeah, the craziest shit that I've seen recently was Bishop Lamore Whitehead got robbed on camera for $1 million worth of jewelry.
But you got to understand, and no disrespect to him, I never met him. I heard he's a dope pastor, but if you on there and you got all the jewelry on, drop hit in Brooklyn, like, you think Brooklyn is a game? Brownsville, Bed-Stuy, Flatbush, like, you think it's a game? Like, it's not. the Bronx. It's not a game either. So if I go through one of these hoods and I got the big chain on and a big watch, motherfucker, just like we in LA, I go to Compton, anywhere out here. Christmas came early, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to move, and that's what I learned from 50, because 50 know how to move. Motherfucker, Christmas come early. You got the Rolex on. Merry Christmas, nigga. Shh. A motherfucker gonna come get that, because I think like the stick-up kid. I'm thinking like, this kid, 50 told me from the beginning, motherfucker blow your head off for that watch. So I think like that.
Have you ever, before the G Unit days and so forth, when you were just hustling, have you ever gotten robbed yourself?
Of course, I got robbed in the 8th grade for my starter. That really turned me into a life of crime. Because I'm gonna be honest, that was like my first time taking the public school bus. So I had the starter jacket. I was a little kid, 8th grade. I'm coming
I got robbed for a starter jacket too when I was a kid. I know the feeling. Yeah,
I was coming from, because I'm from Southside Jamaica, so I'm more from, Rochdale, 40, Baisley area, Farmers over there. We Southside. So I had to go to the Laurelton side. I had to pass 231 and Springfield coming back. So back in the day, Springfield, a girl threw acid in a girl's face. That school was like, Springfield and Jackson was like the criminal schools back in the days. Like everybody knew that. Springfield and Jackson, you go there, it's the warrior schools. 50 went to Jack and a lot of criminals went to Springfield. So I was in 7th, 8th grade, had to get on a bus with all Springfield and 231, which is Laurelton people. So I see motherfuckers shoot the 5 for the back, bus pass, motherfuckers come on the back of the bus and shit. So one day I'm getting off, I think it's American Farmers, and motherfuckers had pull up 38. Give me the jacket. I ain't gonna lie, it was snowing too, I was tight. I was like, fuck that. I need a gun after that. And I wasn't even, what I'm saying? I was a good kid. But see, that's what I'm saying. It was the environment. Yeah. It snowed all the way home. I was like, man, fuck that. I need a gun, bro. Motherfucker robbed me. I'm only in the 7th, 8th grade.
And that's when you got your first gun after that?
Around that time, yeah.
That time, yeah. Well, since our last interview, Lloyd Banks dropped his new album.
Definitely, I'm on that. You seen I killed that verse.
The Chorus of the Inevitable, 2.
Definitely. If you ain't 50, don't hit my line. If you ain't Banks, don't hit my line. I'm in this dark room, me and my 9. I carved my name in my homie casket so the church won't steal it. And bought her med stock for my bitches. God made the poppy plant the rich nigga crop. Rolex Daytona Dash, throwaway Glock. Me and my girlfriend ride like Pac. I turned 42 dog, the little baby in the pot. Come on, man.
That's on the song Don't Switch.
Yeah.
How long ago did you put that together with Banks?
Probably like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, so it was new.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. See, yeah. The album I know was so long in the making that I don't know whether it was like
right now he had the Course Inevitable 1, then this was part 2, and I wasn't on the first one, and the fans was like, "What the fuck? Why Yayo not on that?" Because I stay out of the Banks and 50 thing. I just respect them up. Like I did Sony Hall with Banks, and then the next day I did DJ Self Block Party with 50. You know what I'm saying? So I learned to work. I kind of stay out of.
Yeah.
Well, because there's really nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then when Banks did his show around the album,
right?
And was it Sony Hall?
Sony Hall, packed up. Shout out to everybody who came out to Sony Hall.
You showed up, everyone lost their minds.
Yeah, definitely. You got to keep working. I came off a tour with 50. We did 12 countries. We did London, Manchester. We did Paris. We did first artist to perform in Armenia. Thanks, 50. Shout out to Uncle Murder, the band, everybody, and Flav, Divine, Lightro. And we did 12 countries in I think 20-something days. Because 50 is like the epitome of artists overseas. Him, Eminem, and Snoop. Like to me, I know there's a lot of big artists like Nicki and all these other artists like that are big now and future, but I'm talking about from early 2000s to now.
Well, yeah, internationally, yeah, I think you're right.
Eminem, forget about it, man.
Eminem, 50, and Snoop are probably the 3
M is
biggest
probably doing
rappers.
150,000. He's feeling like baseball arenas.
Eminem is ridiculous.
That's why, come on, Eminem is come on, people just try not to give him his props because it might not be club music, but his shit is deeper than rap. He's definitely one of top 5 lyricists.
I don't know if I asked you this in the last interview, but the song Drama Setter on your album,
definitely,
Eminem does the hook.
Definitely.
Were you guys together at all when he did that?
Oh nah, man. Eminem, he does stuff his way. There's times where Eminem could be next door in the studio and they'll call in and say, wanna talk to you. So it's Eminem, bro. It's But I've been in the studio with him and seen like to me was the biggest thing. That's why I like people like I go against Eminem. To me, it's deep because he's a producer too.
Yeah.
He's a super producer. But when I heard him say the footsteps for many men was in Poltergeist, I looked at him like, the fuck?
Wait, he produced Many Men?
He mixed a lot of stuff in Many Men, and he put all the sounds because like, you know, it'll come a certain way, but when M touch it or Drake touch it, it's totally different. But of course, he produced other stuff on, you know, 50 shit. But he knew where the footsteps, when he put the sound effects and the shooting in there, he does all that too. So he knew the footsteps were like from Poltergeist or something. So I'm looking at this motherfucker like he was an alien. I'm like, what the fuck? Poltergeist.
Speaking of Lloyd Banks.
Yeah.
So you showed up on the album. It was a dope album, by the way.
Yeah, the album's dope. Go pick it up if you didn't get it.
You know, and
my album's coming out, my mixtape's coming, The Loyal's coming soon. I'm mixing, mastering.
Dope.
Take time, videos.
Well, he did, you know, he did a Joe Budden interview. He also did a GQ interview. Needs to do a VladTV interview, by the way.
Yeah, we gonna get you there, Banks. We gonna make it happen. I spoke to him. We gotta make it happen.
Yeah. From what I understand, like I had you and Coach PR speak to him, and he said yes both times, but he just hasn't followed up.
Yeah, he just got to talk to you. I don't know. You know, me and Banks are like night and day. He's a cool guy.
We got to have a conversation. Banks, you have my number. Call me up.
Hit him up.
But he did a GQ interview around the album, and they asked about 50 because 50's not on the album.
Definitely. Let me tell you one thing about G Unit. We're here, 50's here. You understand what I'm saying? It's just gonna always be like that. And you know, shout to Shaka. I hope he's doing better. You know, he got into some shit in Atlanta. But I remember Shaka always saying to me, because I always remember what a lot of people in the industry said.
Shaka Zulu.
Shaka Zulu. We was with him with Columbia days.
Okay.
So he's like the first person.
Yeah, he got shot in Atlanta recently.
So shout to, I hope he's good. I haven't spoken to anybody in his camp or nobody, but pray for Shaka, whatever. I hope he's good. Come out that. Right. But Shaka's the first dude to bring us to the land. And he always said, success doesn't come in the masses. So I looked at it. I was like, and later on in time, I figured out what he meant. There's only going to be 150, one J, one Biggie, one Diddy, one M. There's only going to be one. And, you know, that's the way God make things happen sometimes, and you just got to accept it. So any interview that Banks, Game, Buck, me, we do, there's going to be a mention about 50 because 50's here. It's to a point where the newspaper will call him an icon and, you know.
I agree.
On a whole nother level. And it's cool.
Yeah. Well, in the GQ interview, he said, you know, when they asked about 50, you know, what the relationship is. And he said, it's the same. We're brothers. We came into this together. We're never all going to be doing the same thing at the same time at this point of our careers. The last conversation I had with 50 was basically him telling me to get whatever I left out there because some hiatuses were planned and some weren't. We did something special that will never be done again. Honestly, there are more positive moments than anything else. I can't cry about.
But you got to understand, working for somebody like 50 and it's a lot of pressure because it's like that man don't know what laziness is. All he do is eat, sleep, shit, business. That's it. So it's like if you don't have that mentality around him, he's gonna look at you as you're lazy. So Banks learned everything from 50. I learned everything from 50. You gotta work. You know, the shows we doing 2 hours, get on the jet, go ahead, go to the next country. Yo, we gotta be on point, never late. We go to the venue before him because it's the work ethic. And people don't, but they're gonna always look at his work because he's you know, he's the biggest artist. But when you see his work ethic, when you see a guy that's a multi-millionaire working harder than artists he got or artists that don't even have nothing, it's like I try to tell people all the time, like, it's crazy because a lot of these artists you see that successful, they just see the success. They don't see what Future doing or Drake doing or what Billie Eilish is doing. They might not be sleeping. They got publicists, they got shows, they got, you know, Rihanna. You don't know what these artists is going through working. They're working. So of course they're gonna look at you like, yo, you a little lazy. You gotta put that work in. And of course, Banks putting that work in now, but it's like, you gotta put that work in. I learned that from Fifth. Like you talking about a guy that's probably never been late ever. I was a little bit late here, maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And I said, yo, my bad, Vlad, because I was taught never be late. You missed that flight. Say you missed that flight overseas for an overseas run.
That's it. You're just off that tour.
You know how many tickets have to get rebooked and we got to catch you? It's everything people understand. Promoters, they book them tickets months ahead of time. They might book it a year ahead of time for you to fly somewhere.
Well, right now, the entire G-Unit roster is 50 Cent, you, and Uncle Murder?
I would say so, yeah. Shout to
Three
Uncle Murder. That's
people.
my brother, yeah.
Because I looked at the past roster.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, Game, Olivia, M.O.P.,
Right.
Mobb Deep, Rotimi, Mase, Spider Loke,
Right.
Lil Scrappy,
Right.
Freeway, Kid, Hot Rod,
Right.
Precious Paris.
Damn, I forgot a lot of them artists.
Did I forget
that's,
any?
But that's when, you know.
I mean, you see how big this list is?
But that's when it transferred from more G-Unit, the brand, to G-Unit, the record label.
Yeah.
So I remember when 50 talked about Mobb Deep and M.O.P., and I was cool with it. I'm like, yeah, I think that's cool. I think it's good for hip-hop that you want to pick them up. You know, I remember them. Olivia, she struck gold when she was on Candy Shop.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like sign her. But at that time, I think it was between her and Keisha Cole. I liked Olivia, but come on, Keisha Cole, I was kind of,
Yeah, I
you
would
know,
have
and
gone for
Scrappy-
Keisha Cole.
and Scrappy, you know, 50, you know, he liked certain artists. So it was just like,
Yeah, he liked M.O.P.
you know, some things work, some things don't, you know, but all them artists he brung overseas, he did more for them than you see a lot of people do for their artists. You know what I mean? Because like Kid, overseas, Europe, got a chance to be in front of big crowds, you know, big spreads on XXL. Precious Paris overseas with us. You know, 50 always best hotels in the world, you know, food, you know, money for you to eat, money for you to do whatever. So they all got the good experience. Most of them fly first class. I don't know anybody coach, but most of them fly first class a jet. So it's cool, huh?
When Prodigy passed away,
Yeah, rest in peace to Prodigy, man.
how did you feel?
I felt bad, man. Prodigy is definitely one of the best MCs in the world. Shout to his daughter now. She's spitting. You know, I check her out, and I don't see his son on Instagram, but I always remember him being around. You know, he was little Prodigy, you know, out there, and you know, Prodigy's a pillar of the hip hop, man. He's like, you know, come on, bro. It's sad losing people in hip hop, man. That you really love, because you always like Pop Smoke and Nip, and it's sad because you think about where the career is going. Even K Slate, the K Slate thing, it's like, what does New York do now?
Yeah.
Tell me, what is New York going to do now? Because K Slate was the
that
only
close to home. That was my friend.
close to
Like,
home. That destroyed me, because I was speaking to him days before that.
Me too. Yeah.
I got on a 200 MCs thing.
Ah, right.
Yeah, and I was like, I got to do it, because K Slate is somebody that he messed with us early, 50 early, us early.
Yeah, he was putting you guys on when you guys
Yeah.
were doing mixtapes.
And then I remember me being on Rikers, and he shouting us out, and he was the most influential person in jail.
Yeah.
Because he had the magazine, Start to Straight Stunting and shit. And he, you know, he locked in. You know, I heard somebody's talking about, yeah, but he played at this time. I'm like, bro, that's just a disrespect, because when I was in jail, and you know, they used to call your radio your car. So K Slay, lock in. You hear motherfuckers say, yo, hold on, everything stops when you lock in at 12 o'clock. So like K Slay was the only one to me that was really grounded into the streets, man.
Yeah, no, one of my biggest regrets when I think back,
Right.
me and him talked right before he caught COVID.
Right.
Like, you know, like literally maybe a couple days.
Yeah.
And he's always been 100 with me. I've known him for
Right.
like 20 years.
Right.
And I was like, yo, how's everything? And he was like, oh, man, just chilling, trying to keep out of the way of this COVID shit. And I'm like, oh, word, have you gotten vaccinated? And he said, nah, I'm going to wait until all the variants stop, because I heard it don't work for the variants. And I remember looking at the text going like, should I say something? Because I know the vaccine does work for the
you
variants.
Yo, Vlad, you should have said something.
But I'm like, this man is older than me, and I don't want to lecture him
Nah, but you
about
should.
that.
I think you should have said something. I know.
And
I know you.
that's why I feel bad right now.
I know you got anti-vaxxers and vaxxers, but it was different for me because my daughter, she was going her first year of college.
Yeah.
So I took her to get vaccinated, and I felt like as a man, fuck it, I got to do it too.
Yeah.
I done duck bullets, cases, all kind of shit. Like I'm like, yo, everybody's gonna get out of here one day. We just know death is the same thing we all have in common. You know, people don't know what time, what's the date, what it is, why, but I looked at it like I dug bullets and all that shit. All right, fuck it. If they pumping some shit in me that's not supposed to be there, I didn't. At the time, my daughter did it. I went and got vaxxed. Now, for me saying now, rest in peace to K Slay. I wish K Slay did get vaxxed.
I know. And it was a regret to
Right.
this day, because right afterwards, like probably
Right.
about a week afterwards, he caught COVID. Then you heard he was in the hospital. And then maybe a couple months later, he passed away. And I'm like, fuck, if I had said something, would it have maybe make him change his mind
Damn.
or not? And I still feel bad. Like I still have the text message.
Yeah, I had to erase my texts with K. It was just heartbreaking because I just was spoken to him and he was like, yo, tell Tommy from Power. He was like, yo, tell him, what's up, because he was close to him too.
Oh, really?
This is what I'm saying. Like, K Slay is the only person that can get 200 New York rappers together on one track, even if y'all had beef or whatever. So it's like the way he did was, it's magical. So when he passed, to me, it's just like, now when you look at radio, it's just like, damn, who's gonna play, the next? Remember, he was on Pop Smoke first. And like his management,
he's done a lot of people.
I told him, and it's crazy. My last conversations with him was due to documentary because I was like, damn, you was on 50 first, you was on Pop Smoke first. He was on Pop Smoke when Pop Smoke, really was straight from the street. He was one of the first people he had actually footage. So I hope his management puts out the 200 MCs, and I hope they keep the straight stunting legacy and everything going because K Slay is the pillar of hip hop. Now it's like, what are the streets going to do? That's the conversation. Yeah. Because you got guys like Drewski and other DJs that are definitely in tune to the streets, but I don't think nobody was in tune like K Slay.
You know what I mean? Most people in media are too scared to really get, basically cover the drama and everything else like that. I learned in terms of like my style about not giving a fuck and asking the tough questions and everything else like that. I learned that by watching K Slay. Yeah, to be honest, that no fear fucking attitude.
You can't give a fuck anyway because it's the industry. Nobody is really friends, man. Everybody is really competition. Let's keep it real. It's like we might act like we friends, but to me, it's all competition. It's cool. I like a lot of rappers. I'm fans of a lot of rappers, but for me, my records, I got my records. Like people be like, "Yo, New York, style South." I don't like. I'm a fan of all music. I don't give a fuck if you from London. Wherever, London drill, this motherfucker, gigs, I listen to all kind of music. I listen to fucking Nina Simone. Cause my man was a DJ, so I listen to all genres of music. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like, my features came quicker from rappers from down south than New York rappers. Mm.
Well, we were speaking about Prodigy.
Right.
And the first bulletproof truck I've ever gotten into was Prodigy's truck. Yeah. He had the Sirius, it was like a Suburban or something like that.
He got arrested. He was going down a one-way in that motherfucker.
Yeah, he got arrested in the bulletproof truck with the gun in the car. And what's interesting is that we interviewed him back in the day, and what he said is that when the cops arrested him,
they wanted him to plant the gun on 50. And,
exactly.
Different police started pulling me out my cell. The arresting officers, the ATF, different detectives from that precinct. And the first ones that pulled me out my cell, they asked me if I can help them solve crime. They do this to everybody, get you to snitch on somebody or whatever. So, I'm not with none of that. And, they try to get me to confess, whose gun is it? Is it your gun? Is it your friend Alchemist's gun? Like, so, the kind of case it was, I already knew it was a legal search because they didn't ask to search my vehicle, and that's against the law, you know what I mean? So I already knew in my head what this was gonna be. I've been through it many times already. And they see that you're not cracking on none of those questions. They say, yo, look, really, we just wanna know about 50 Cent. We know you down with G Unit. We want something on 50. If you can help us get something with 50, we let you walk right now.
Cops probably had a problem with it, but it's not every cop, because there's a lot of cops that's fans. Like, they'll run down, I was gonna give you a ticket, but they'll see new was your car. Like, so it'd be stuff like that in New York, because, we legends out there and we appreciate everybody. But, they were some bad cops. They wanted to, set a motherfucker up. But I always said to Prodigy, like, in my mind, I'm like, damn, well, sometimes I used to have my thing in mind, but sometimes I didn't, because I'm like, yo, as long as I get to the car, I'm good. So if I'm somewhere, in the hood, I'm like, yo, let me just park this shit as close as possible to wherever I'm at. I just got to get to the car. That's the best thing about a bulletproof. You got to get one, man.
I might. Well, actually, I already put down a down payment for the Tesla Cybertruck.
So did I.
Which is supposed to be bulletproof, right?
But it's only like level 2, so you might want to do like more work to it. All right. I don't think it's going to be like level 4.
Okay.
So you probably
That's what you had? Your truck was level 4?
Yeah, it was level 4.
Which means what? You could have a bomb blow up next to
bomb, fucking AK-47. Level 2 is like more handguns. Like, like 38-9, which is good in New York, but when you go to Atlanta, or maybe, I don't think it's good, you know what I'm saying? When motherfuckers got AKs and all that shit out there.
I was going through your first album on the way here.
Right.
And I haven't heard the song in a while. Tattleteller.
Yeah, definitely.
You called out a whole bunch of people on this song.
Definitely.
Alpo.
Yeah, definitely.
And Sammy the Bull.
Right.
I just interviewed Sammy the Bull.
Right.
He was sitting right where you're
yeah,
sitting right now.
I seen you interview him. You're the only motherfucker that could get Sammy the Bull. That's crazy.
Do you still feel the same way? Because this was what? Like, this album was what, 15 years ago or something?
For me, it was younger, so I said a lot of names. I really don't feel the same way. Because it's like, we're calling out motherfuckers that rat, you just never know what a motherfucker will do. It's not like, you can't, like right now, without seeing paperwork, I shouldn't have said that. But Alpo, of course, you know these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Alpo was established. He told
what I'm saying is now these days it's like mind my business. If a motherfucker's a rat, that's what he chose to do. As long as you know you rat, you're not good. Definitely you're not good in the hood. But it's just like mind your business because you see it in the hood all the time. Like motherfuckers call a motherfucker a rat, and that motherfucker hit you 20 times. Like that happened in my hood. Like, motherfucker call a nigga a rat. I don't want to name no name. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker got hit like 10 times with the 4-5. So it's like sometimes I'm more mind my business. You know, I'm grown now. You know what I mean? At that time, I came out of jail and just named all them names.
Yeah, you didn't give a fuck back then.
Right.
Recently I interviewed Birdman's brother, half-brother, Terrence Gangster Williams.
Right. I think I've seen some of that interview. Yeah.
He had life plus 20. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, during the course of his sentence, he decided to cooperate on a few of his friends who were already dead.
Right.
And basically helped, the feds close a couple files on murders that they did. Okay. And that actually set off a problem with him and Birdman.
Some of my people that I'm at odds with now, even BG was upset about it too. Cause they was like, man, you tell it on the dead. I didn't look at it like at the time. I was like, well, this is a way I can get up out of prison. I'm not testifying on no one. I'm going to give them this here. They're going to cut my time. Cool, but I understand, I respect it that telling is telling because, we made those rules, you never go sit down and talk to those people regardless. I made the rules and broke the rules. That's why when I first came home, I was met with resentment or anger from Birdman when I first come home because of that. I didn't get the red carpet.
Because you got to understand, this is how the streets work. Once you tell on somebody, it's like the streets abandon you and you can't. Some motherfuckers will still play basketball with a rat, but it's like we learned the rules of the streets. Because it's like, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. You know what I'm saying? You can't go in there telling. And then what happens if you tell, now you in jail with that paperwork. Because, once you go to jail, motherfucker hear you a snitch. Let me see that paperwork. Now you fool. You fool. On that Rikers Island, that's the place to me. That's like one of the worst jails in the world. You don't want to be on. You seen the kid that with TJ? He got fucking black eye shit. Yeah. Motherfuckers punched. That motherfucker got the fucking, like he got hit by Mike Tyson on the island. Right. You know what I'm saying? It get rough. It's beef everywhere. It's like you just never know. So what I learned is you being a snitch is like, you think you're not safe on the outside and you're not safe on the inside.
But do you think that telling on someone who's already dead, is that snitching?
I think you should just do your time, bro, because it's going to be a rough bit being a snitch, bro. Motherfucker,
he's out now at this point.
But still, you still a snitch in the streets. It's just rough. People ain't going to, sometimes your own family, niggas walk away from their own family. Like, my family ratted. I don't fuck with him. That's just how it works. It's just been street rules from the beginning of time. Yeah. You can't do something and tell on your friends. You just eat the time. There's motherfuckers that probably didn't murder certain people, but they like, I ain't telling on my boy. I just eat that time. This nigga's out. You think this nigga's not in jail like that? There's people in jail like that. Mans did something, kill somebody. They just like, I'm gonna eat that time, bro.
That's how Keefy D, basically got away with, essentially life in prison because he told on his nephew who killed Tupac.
Right.
And he had a proffer agreement, essentially, which means that he can say whatever he wants and he won't be charged for it.
But still, you still gonna be labeled a rat. To me, that's like, and when me growing up, that's like the worst thing to be labeled as, is telling. But then, now we in different times where motherfuckers are like, if I gotta do 40 years, and you just was eating filet mignon, you know, and flying the world, should I tell on these niggas? Yeah, fuck these niggas, man. You know, that's how they think. Yo, listen, whatever you do is what you do. You know, I just know how I grew up, the rules of the streets.
I mean, what do you think about what's happening in Atlanta with the, Young Thug and Gunna?
Free Thug or free Gunna. I don't think anything should be based off their lyrics. But I just feel like, you know, they put a light on you, you know, and like I said, I learned this from 50. When we get in the cars, shh, on the phone, I hardly talk on the phone. If you a gangster, killer, shooter, don't call my line. Because like I said, Crippy called my phone, and I'll tell you this story. Crippy, shout to Free Crippy. He called my phone when police ran in Treyway crib, right? He calls me 10 minutes later. You know what he says? Police running in my crib. What do I do? Feds are running 20 niggas' houses at the same time just to fuck your head up.
Damn.
Yo, what I do, I'm like, man, you got the shit bag on your stomach. You got your family in there. Just surrender, bro, because they throw that flash bomb in there and come in there with them guns, you fucked. Because that's how the feds coming. I had feds and probation, fed probation knock on my door, beating on my shit. Ready to shoot my dog. I had a dog, my dog Effie, rest in peace. I had a German Shepherd. They was gonna shoot that, they was gonna shoot her. Grab the dog. Had the gun out. Like, they don't play when they come. So you just gotta understand, there's no system bigger than, that's one thing you don't wanna fuck with. And they make examples, what I'm saying is they make examples out of rappers. Free Gunna, Free Thugger, you don't wanna see nobody in jail. You don't even pray that on your worst enemy. But what I'm saying is the feds are always watching, man. We got these phones now. So you do a crime, right? You do a crime, you got your phone, you caught, brother.
Yeah, they'll triangulate the location.
There,
there you go.
They pinging you.
Yep. Yes, you were.
So now you do something to a nigga, bro, you bet you can't even bring your phone. So if something pop off and your phone go and motherfucker get shot, killed. I wasn't in the area. Well, that's not what your phone say, motherfucker.
Bro, listen,
This ain't back in the days when we had the phones that can't track us. Everything track us.
Everything's tracked.
Everything.
Let me tell you, I interviewed this dude, Roger Reeves, who was Pablo Escobar's, drug transporter.
Right.
And he was telling me off camera how he went on the run at one point.
Right.
He said the only way that he would talk to people about anything crime related is they would strip naked and they would go into the ocean together. And they would have the conversation in the ocean naked with each other. Because he was so scared about wiretaps, phones, little tiny things on him.
Nobody could fuck with the feds, bro. When they come, it's over. So a lot of motherfuckers talk all this gangster shit, but when they throwing 40, 50, natural life, you don't know what a nigga's gonna do. That's all I'm saying. You don't know what a nigga's gonna do. I'm just keeping it real. But there's ethics in the streets. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is.
Well, Eric Holder was just found guilty for killing Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
Have you ever met Nipsey at all?
Yeah, I met Nipsey a couple. We was on Nipsey early. He came to This Is 50 early. Like, you can see pictures on my page. They got me and Nipsey, hoodies on. We chilling in the office. This young Nip. Because we was on Nip early. Banks had songs with him. So we was on Nip like early 2000s. Like, we the reason why a lot of niggas in New York, know Nip. Like, you know what I'm saying? And shout to him, legend.
Legend, yeah. I interviewed him. We had a couple interviews on our channel, but I interviewed him personally one time. Really good dude.
Yeah, he kept it real. He was talking about buying real estate, and that's what
actually did.
That's what artists want to do, and bettering your community. And it's tragic that it happened in the community.
Well, I interviewed Cowboy.
Yeah, definitely. I think
who was with Nipsey when Eric Holder approached them and had the conversation when Nipsey said, "Hey, I heard some paperwork's on you," and so forth. Right. Then he went inside, and then Eric Holder came back and killed Nipsey. And Cowboy actually took the stand to explain what the conversation was, because they're trying to say that it was a crime of passion and so forth. It was like, nah, they had a cool conversation. They shook hands, and then he went, got his gun, and came back and killed him. And a lot of people, and Cowboy's a Rolling 60s Crip as well. Right. And a lot of people were really upset with him for taking the stand. Yeah, well, listen, man, I support your decision. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever got something bad to say about what you're doing, like, that was your homeboy. You have absolutely no reason to help Eric Holder in any capacity.
Right.
And you're doing the right thing.
And I'm not even helping the prosecution. I'm not helping neither one. I'm helping bro name stay clear, because bro never said that. Had that not been a factor in this whole trial, man,
you wouldn't hear from me. I'd be out the way, you know, because his fate is sealed wherever they set him down. You know, it don't matter.
I mean,
how do you feel about that as someone who
I
grew up in that kind of lifestyle?
I don't like to get in these interviews and like talk about the next man, but all I could say is, you know, people are gonna look at it like this in the streets. You're either a civilian or you with the shit. That's just how it is. I don't like to talk about nobody, you know, I don't want no smoke with nobody. I'm humble. You know what I'm saying? I just flew 17 countries, you know, but I can't judge that man, but that's what the streets are gonna say. They're gonna say, Yayo, you're either a civilian or you a gangster.
Okay. So would you ever take
You
the
understand?
stand? Would you yourself ever take the stand on trial? Never.
No.
Okay.
Because look, me and my name and the niggas I'm down with, 50 and the shit we did in the streets, I look at it like in all the shootouts and all the bullshit we've been through, people don't look at me as just a civilian.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be judged. They overjudged. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas was still praising henchmen and henchmen been on paperwork. You know, but if I'm on paperwork or 50's on paperwork, they gonna crucify us. Anybody. They gonna say, what? Them niggas supposed to be them niggas. Niggas on paperwork. They gonna crucify us. So, you know, I never look at myself as just like regular civilian, because beef is never dead, it just get old. You could see a motherfucker could come back from some shit from 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and never get dead. So I always watch my back. You know what I mean? Because motherfuckers hated us and we was like the bad guys, the villains of the rap game. Not forced, but that's the way we kind of came in saying fuck niggas, fuck Ja Rule, fuck Herb, fuck this nigga. I mean, but you make your bed, you lay in it.
Since our last interview, we did an interview with James Cruz.
Right.
I didn't do the interview myself. My man Sean Prez
Right.
did the interview. And one of the things that James said is, he said he's disappointed in 50 Cent because he didn't allow G-Unit to reach his full potential.
50 Cent is a genius, and I always say that, and I always will say that. For whatever reason, we know who 50 is, and 50's consistent with the way he approaches situations. And he's been very aggressive in approaching situations with me. I will always honor and admire that man because of what he did. You know, somebody asked me once, have you ever been disappointed? And I think all of us disappoint at some point. Our kids disappoint us, our parents disappoint us, our friends disappoint us. 50 never disappointed me because 50 always stayed true to who he is. And I respect that. And 50 redefined himself in film and television. 50's a down hard genius. The only disappointment I felt from 50 was not allowing G-Unit to achieve its fullest potential.
But I think, on that one, I think he was wrong because G-Unit reached their full potential. You know, we had gold, platinum albums. We traveled the world. We did all kinds of, like we just went to Armenia. So, I mean, it's just, everybody's going to have their opinion in the music game. And I don't have a problem with Cruz, shout out to him, whatever. But, you know, 50, he did it on his own. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he made the decision to sign with Eminem. He made the decision to have Chris Lighty as management. Yeah. So, you know, I'm not taking away from anything Cruz and James did, because I always looked up to Violator, Lori, everybody over there, you know, Mona Scott. I remember Mona Scott before Love of Hip Hop, and Claudine and LL being there, and Foxy Brown and K Slay and Diddy. And I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers, because they was like kind of like Rock Nation before Rock Nation. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Before 300.
Yep.
So I looked up to all these people, Claudine, all these people, Mona Scott, James Cruz as well. But, I mean, 50 as an artist kind of made his moves and had the right team. You know? So when Cruz say stuff sometimes, you know, 50's going to always go in, because 50, you know, he always going on Cruz, and shout to Cruz. But, you know, I mean, when you look at G-Unit, we made the pivotal. We had goddamn video games, platinum albums, damn near had cereal. We had sneaker deals where we wasn't even wearing the sneakers. And I talked about that on Full Size Run, where 50 cut that deal.
Yeah, you actually, I watched that interview. So basically, you guys had the G-Unit sneakers deal with Reebok.
Definitely.
And this one day, you guys were all hanging out.
Right.
And 50 looked at all the shoes you guys were wearing.
Right.
And you were wearing what, like some Gucci's or something?
I probably had some like Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuittons, Banks had some Hermes, whatever else. Nobody was wearing G-Unit sneakers.
Yeah, it was a bad day. It was a bad
day. And then what,
day
50 basically said, I'm going to cancel this whole shit?
Yeah, I mean, it made sense when you really think about it, because he could have got basketball players or football players and gave them that $200,000 quick check just to take a couple of pictures, or it was really no work. So when you looked at the business aspect, I'm like, damn, I had a chance to design sneakers and I just thought about the check. I didn't think about the future of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because 50 always, whenever he associates with a brand, he always pushes it constantly. Like every Instagram post, hashtag.
Right. That's why I respect all the
cognac,
I respect all the new artists that's about their business, because when you're in the mix of it, when there's girls around and cars and you're young and the money's coming and you're flying the world and all kind of shit is going on, you could be off your business. So when we looked at that, now we could afford Gucci, Louis, Dior, but we're not wearing the actual product.
Yeah.
When we should be wearing the product all the time, so we'll be promoting it.
Right. Well, speaking of the James Cruz thing, 50 responded to our interview.
Right.
He said, this cokehead James Cruz worked for Chris Lighty. He didn't make no deals. He was just in the meetings. Puffy played with his butt in Miami.
Oh, man.
Ask him about the weird shit they into. Don't ask
why
him
you asking me about
me.
this stuff, man? I want to stay out of that, man. You know how everybody knows how 50 is, man. The nigga's crazy. He been like, see, I'm used to it. 50 been like this.
Right. Since day one.
Since 134 and God Brewer.
Yeah.
Talk shit. Oh, shit, he coming. Motherfucker selling. Oh, here come Boo Boo. Oh, here come the troublemaker. He been like that from day one. So for me, I'm used to it. You know, if you say something stupid, he gonna react. That's just the South Side nigga, who he is.
Well, one of the things that James Cruz said later on when Sean Perez asked him why he ended up leaving Violator and basically parting ways with 50, he said that he felt a bit salty over the, vitamin water deal. Because I guess like James's paperwork wasn't right. So when 50 had that big payday, James didn't really make nothing off of it.
I don't know nothing about the finances.
My paperwork wasn't right. And that's my fault. I didn't see what I felt I should have seen out of it. But I don't think I was ready for that either. I wasn't ready.
Okay, stop there for a second. It's rumored. I wasn't there. I'm asking you. It's rumored that 50 Cent made something north of $100 million.
It's not my position to divulge people's personal business. You know what I'm saying? But that was a business deal that did very well. Extremely well, a lot better than anybody thought. And it gave an opportunity for other individuals to invest in their brands. And as we're seeing what's happening with Yeezy, as we're seeing what's happening with Ciroc and Ace of Spades, it was one of the first times where equity became more important than a financial contribution from the beginning. So
let me ask you something specific.
Game changing.
So let me ask you something specific. I know you can't speak on somebody else, what their check look like. Mm-hmm. James Cruz check.
0.
I know you said get the hell out of here.
0.
Yo, James, cut it out.
Word is bomb.
I just know when motherfuckers heard vitamin water, they smell money, man. I don't know how, like between Chris Lighty, 50 and Cruz, like I always stayed out of that business.
Yeah. Well, the reason I mention it is because that seemed like the shift that happened with Young Buck as well. Because remember, Young Buck was on stage and said something like, "Yeah, I didn't make no money off the vitamin water deal, so I got to hustle now."
But the one thing, nigga, 50 always told me is Buck is unpredictable. Like you just never know what he's gonna do next. And you notice when all that shit happened, I never said nothing bad about him, But Buck is like an unpredictable nigga. Why would you be mad about another nigga deal? That's that man money. You know what I'm saying? That's a deal that he went and got. Mm-hmm. So who are you that's the C thing artists don't get. They worried about the boss. They worried about who the boss fucking, how much money the boss got. Worry about your fucking career. Why are you worried about what the boss is doing? Because the boss is gonna be looking like, why the fuck is this motherfucker worried about me? She be worried about what you doing. So when you, from what I know from Buck, bail money, publishing help money, once a motherfucker do that, you can't really turn around and talk bad about a nigga. Or a nigga jerk me, because people don't like to hear Debbie Downers. They don't like to hear people disgruntled when you spent all the money. Buck was a nigga that bought 10 cars.
He had 10 cars?
Bro, that nigga had all kinds of cars, bro.
Wow.
Bentleys, old school, shop money, 20 cars, Ferraris. There was time we was on tour, because Fifth saved his money. Fifth probably got, I don't know how much he got up. He don't spend no money like that. He might buy some cars and all that for certain reasons. He don't spend no money. So I remember one day going to the studio and Shot Money bought a new Ferrari, and we pulled up and 50 was like, "Yo, whose shit is that? That's your shit?" I'm like, "Hell no, I ain't mine. I got the Bentley, Benz, bulletproof truck, all kind of shit." I'm like, "Nah, that ain't mine. That ain't." Oh, that's Shy Money shit. He wasn't hating. It was just like, damn, we never here, so why buy another car? He didn't hate. He was like, damn, this motherfucker got 11 cars already. You know, sometimes it's a waste of money because you're never there. So motherfuckers will buy 8 cars, but they always on tour.
I mean, when you look at
that's the type of nigga 50 was with bread. Like, he's watch every dollar. You owe that nigga $1,000, that nigga on it. And he's a multi-millionaire. No, yeah.
I mean, when you see where Buck is right now, I mean, there's the whole transgender thing that came in. There's the whole going to jail thing and so forth. And I remember I interviewed him, and it was really kind of a sad situation, him going back to jail, because after the whole Vibe Award stabbing incident, all he had to do was just file some paperwork afterwards or whatever to just seal up, you know, his case, but he just wasn't on top of it. So then when he caught that other case, he ended up going back because of the old one.
Yo, listen, you gotta, no man is your friend, no man is your enemy, every man is your teacher. I heard that before, right? So every man is your teacher, right? So you learn from your mistakes. But if you're out there in the cases you catching, like domestic, wild shit, people gonna come for you. Nobody's exempt from jail.
Yeah.
You do some dumb shit, you gonna go to jail. As for the transgender thing, that's more his choice. Me, I know him from, like, he had some superstar chicks that he used to, I don't want to say no names, but he was doing his thing. I just know him for that. He was a cool guy, but he was always unpredictable to me. Now, the ranch you go on, it's just going to fuck you up. I don't know what kind of deal you signed with 50 or negotiated, but motherfucker just shut you down. Because 50 ain't scared of nobody. He just going to, he'll destroy your ass. That motherfucker, no homo, unopposed, but you know what I mean? He'll destroy you. But with the transgender thing, how I looked at it is like, you know, you got kids out here, you got children. I have nothing against LGBTQ community. It's whatever decision you want to make, but you know, it's gonna be out there. That's all I could say. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be out there. So you got kids and you moving around and responsibilities, you gotta kind of grow up and try to, you know, stay away from the bullshit. You know how it is.
Yep.
You know, it's all about handling your business because, you know, once you make the mistakes, what are the people going to say? Yep. Oh, he's stupid. He's dumb. He should have saved his money. He should have did better business things. Because you got rich white people out here with sketches on.
Yep.
I see it every day.
Not me.
They'll be like, not sure, of course. You know, you got the foot Kanye's on right now.
I got to stay fly.
But, you know, I know people that got lucky sneakers in my neighborhood. And, you know, dudes that they'll look at it like my white friends, they'll look at it like the strip club. They look at that as like a waste of money.
I do. I look at the strip
club.
My
friends.
As a face.
But I look at it as like a place where, you know, I'm buying entertainment, you know, beautiful women. It's cool to me.
Yeah.
But my white friends, they'll actually buy a girl. Like, that makes no sense, yeah. Why would I spend $10,000 when I could spend $500 and have a model over? Call an agency, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of dudes I know, bro. So it's just like, it's different things everywhere. And they wear Skechers. And I even had, like, some of my rich white friends buy fake Yeezys.
Really?
Serious.
Not me.
Shout to my guy Bobby Casino. Yeah, this guy's buying.
Bobby Casino.
This guy got, this guy got
the fakes.
Look, he got Bentleys and stuff. And then I'm in his crib. He got a guy coming in selling them fake Yeezys. I'm like, yo, it's time for me to go, bro. You know, you got a Bentley and a McLaren and you buying fake Yeezys, but yo, that's how some people rock.
Well, at one point, Mase was with G-Unit.
Definitely.
And I remember
at that time, we was hot in fish grease. Who didn't want to sign?
I remember
I think Fabulous wanted to sign, Keisha Cole, Mase. It was just like a list of people that wanted to sign with G-Unit that you just hear and there. You know what I'm saying?
And 50 was like already investing in him. I remember he was in I forgot what video. Was it Window Shopper?
Right.
You guys did that out in Europe somewhere?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, Mase was in that, and there were songs with I heard there was like a whole project that 50 and Mase were working on.
Yeah, definitely. Mase is definitely definitely a lyrical genius.
Yep.
Definitely.
But then that deal fell apart.
Right. I don't know the ins and outs.
Okay. From what I heard, I'm not going to say who I heard it from. From what I heard was that the deal was essentially ready to go. Everyone signed off on it, whatever. And then Puffy came in and wanted more. And then that's what made the deal fall apart. And from that point on, that's when 50 and Puffy started having beef.
Right. Probably so. I don't know the ins and outs, but you know how the music business is designed from the beginning of time to, you know, take advantage of the artist. If an artist don't know, you just don't know. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm not gonna say no names, but there was a motherfucker that was stealing air miles, hotel points, and like we was artists, we was flying the world. So it was like all kind of hotel points and shit like that. And one day, somebody from my entourage had an altercation with this person and was like, yo, you was stealing our air miles the whole time? But I could fly my family to Europe and all that shit for free. So when you don't know that, when you don't have the information, motherfuckers gonna fuck you over. Down to the motherfucker that's driving your car, down to the motherfucker that's styling you, they'll fuck you over because you don't have the information. And that's what I learned from 50, because 50's watching every fucking dollar. The stylist, the driver, what I'm paying you, what I'm paying this nigga, he's watching every fucking dollar. Because people think you stupid and they try to get over. Just because you from the streets and might not have masters, and shout to everybody who do have master degrees and go to school, because it looks good on paper and it's very important to have, I guess, sometimes in this world. But people with the street mentality I learned from Fifth is as smart as a motherfucker with the masters. So like I said, back in the days, motherfuckers were stealing our air miles and our hotel points. So I'm flying somewhere to Europe and it's fucked up. And the person was like a nobody, but it was just like, damn, the way they did it was kind of like, damn, you live and you learn. Like, motherfucker stealing our air miles?
Man, listen, you know how
50 didn't even know about, nobody knew. Like 50 didn't know, nobody knew. You know, wasn't stealing 50 air miles, but damn sure was stealing Yayo's.
Okay.
They ain't gonna do 50, they ain't gonna steal his.
Oh man, the number of NBA players I've interviewed that have had millions stolen from them by accountants. Power of attorney is like the most dangerous thing you can give a person. Because they could...
What Biggie say back in the days? Got lawyers watching lawyers, so I won't go broke.
Right. No, I mean, like,
you gotta listen to them Jews, man.
Yeah, I interviewed Eddie Curry, and he said that his finance guy with power of attorney took out this insane loan for like $600,000, which turned into like $4 million, and he had to take a loan against his future NBA salary to pay that back, and it was just a clusterfuck.
You know, he had loans here and there. It's crazy because I do some work with the Players Association now, and I talk to, all the young kids about this type of shit, man. Just power of attorney, bro. And that was one of the biggest factors in my financial just ruin, bro, is that I gave someone power of attorney. And I remember at one point, like toward the end of my time in New York, probably my last year there, man, he had got a loan from this dude in Vegas, and they didn't have any. There was no laws on. There was no cap on just the inflation, just the extra, the late fees, the late penalties, and shit like that you can charge for a loan. He took out a loan. He used a stamp of my signature to get the loan. He defaulted on the loan. I didn't even know about it. Didn't get the proceeds from it or anything. They ended up taking me to court. It was like a $500,000 loan. I ended up having to pay like $4 million on this loan.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
And this is normal. This is more, this is not even unusual.
I learned from 50 early. Watch your money and handle your business. Because, you can have people do it for you. In the beginning, I had a lot of people do it for you, and you don't depend on it. And because, when you're in school, right? I think it's the book, Rich Dad. You ever read?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah, I read it.
And he was telling you, his father told him, yo, I want to be an entrepreneur. And I guess he said, well, go talk to your friend's dad. He's more entrepreneur. I work for a check. Because, we in my mind, it's never work for a check. Try to, have your own entrepreneur spirit in your brain. And on like a 9 to 5, there's nothing wrong with it. Shout to everybody to have it. But if you have a 9 to 5, you always got to have your other hustle on the side. Especially being from New York, you need 7 hustles. I learned that from the COVID. Wasn't no shows. Wasn't nobody eating. Oh, shit. It's time to push the pen. It's getting slow on the block. You going into your savings, you're doing this, you're doing that. I got a couple of properties and stuff. I got shit I got to maintain. Kids in college now. And there's no shows. There's no revenue coming in like that. I got to do the music, sell the merch. I got to do this. You got to have 7 hustles.
John Cena said that he actually got his "You Can't See Me"
I wish John,
WWE taught.
John Cena, just give me like $1 million or something. Let's be... Give me $1 million. Let me get $1 million, man. That worldwide. But that's cool, man. And he always give me my props for it. So, he don't have to do that. He's like an icon out here. You know what I'm saying? So shout to him. And that dance was created of me being on a run. Because I was on the run in the club video. A lot of people don't know that. I was trying not to show my face.
Oh, that's where the dance came from? You were trying to hide your face?
I'm the first artist that was on the run that went to like Barcelona, Europe, was around Eminem, all of them. I was on the run. I had my brother. My brother looked like me, so I had his name was on my passport.
Right.
That's why I did Fed time.
Yeah, that's how you went back to prison.
Yeah, I could talk about it now. Because everybody, yo, don't talk about Vlad shit. You might go to jail. You got to be careful when you sell these shits, bro.
Yeah.
Huh?
In the video for In the Club, didn't Suge Knight show up
Yeah.
to that video?
And everybody came outside. Eminem, everybody was like nuts.
Okay.
But the inside was crazy because like people like cameramans was dropping their cameras and people was running.
Really?
But we went outside. I think we was excited to have beef with Suge. Just like a Suge Knight. Because when you got to figure out, when you a big figure like that, it's kind of dangerous too because people want more and more drama with you. So it was just like, damn, Suge Knight? Yeah. Everybody want points on that. But that was like, it was crazy because that was the first time seeing like motherfuckers in LA had the tattoos on their forehead and shit. It was like, I think he had the Mexican Bloods with him, but they had like tattoos on their faces. Like shit was crazy. Like shit you see in Training Day back in the, you know what I'm saying? That's the first time I seen a motherfucker with his street on his forehead.
What was he there to accomplish exactly?
I don't know. I think what Suge is he's a pop-up guy, and that's what got him in trouble. Like his last case, like that's what I know Suge for. I've been numerous occasions been around Suge. Suge is the pop-up guy. Like he'll pop up. You know, this guy's what, 6'4", 6'5", 300, 400 pounds. Crazy, you hear the name about him. He'll pop up anywhere. That's all I gotta tell you about the awards. When the shit popped off, and we seen
awards,
yeah, when he walked past with Irv, I said 50's a genius under pressure. Cause what 50 do? He ain't no pressure, no sweat. That nigga 50 told, and that's funny shit. He told James Cruz, James Cruz, go to the store and buy 16 knives. Cause if I got 16 niggas with knives, that's as damn near as worse as having guns. Motherfucking American to me in that motherfucker. Shit pop off. I don't know who stabbed that dude from LA out here, but it definitely was a New York nigga. Cause niggas had guns. We had knives back in Suge. One of Suge niggas, a couple of them niggas back down because we had the knives. Because you could be as big as you want. That knife play is totally different. Motherfucker stab you with a knife, and I learned that from Fifth. Like, you know, that was like one of the most genius, diabolical moves ever. Vibe Awards. Yo, go buy told James Cruz. That's the funny shit. Go buy 16 knives from the hardware store. Gave them shits out like fucking we on Rikers Island. Because that's how New York niggas play. New York used to danger. We come from dangerous era. Like people, like West Coast, these motherfuckers dangerous out here. But I was talking to some West Coast niggas and they was like, I never seen a motherfucker in LA spit a razor out his mouth. Back in the days, a bitch will cut you.
Damn.
Spit that razor right on. Right in the club. Had that shit. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I mean, MC Light rapped about that in Self-Destruction.
Yeah, bro.
You got strapped with the razor blade straight to your collar.
People don't know about that razor blade in your mouth. Gunplay. Like,
yeah.
Be on the train, you arguing with somebody. Motherfucker could talk with that shit. I tried it a couple of times, but
you actually put a razor blade in your mouth.
Yeah, I tried it a couple of times.
Did you cut yourself?
Nah, I was like, nah, I ain't fucking with that.
It's too much.
Put that shit in your mouth with the cardboard, like shit.
I'm not fucking with that.
Yeah, I ain't tried
if
that.
If I gotta go somewhere with a razor blade in my mouth, I'll just stay home.
I personally know females and niggas in the hood that was fucking like wizards with that shit. You know, because you know how New York is. The Wolves, they had the 52 hand block back in the days. Motherfuckers spitting razor blades out there. You never heard about that?
Nah.
Yeah, in jail.
This is new to me.
52, motherfucker, 52 hand block.
Oh, because they're blocking the razor blade with the arms?
Just blocking everything in jail. It's like an up north thing. Like, south side, you hear about the stories. You know what I mean?
You know, last time we talked about, you know, how 50 got shot in
Right.
front of his grandparents' house.
Mm-hmm.
In the song, Many Men, he talked about the situation.
Right.
He said, in the Bible, it says what goes around
You know what's
comes
crazy?
around.
He didn't even like that record.
I love that record.
He always say I was right on that one because he played it for me.
I love that record.
He played it for me, and he was like, I was like, yo, this is the hardest record ever.
Oh, yeah. In fact, a bunch of people have remade that record.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
rappers are remaking that
rest
record.
in peace to Pop Smoke. I know that.
Oh,
was
Pop Smoke remade it. Right,
rest in
exactly.
peace
Yeah, I was trying to remember who it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Pop did it.
Well, okay, so in the verse, he said, in the Bible, it says what goes around comes around. Hamo shot me. 3 weeks later, he got shot down.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's clear that I'm here for a real reason because he got hit like I got hit, but he ain't fucking breathing.
Right.
So the story goes was the shooting happened by a guy named Daryl Baum, a.k.a. Hamo, who was Mike Tyson's bodyguard at one point.
Yeah, right.
Could we talk about that situation at all? Because he talked
I
about it in the song.
I never knew Homo. I never, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I know after 50 got shot, I just pulled up to the block and there was shells. I thought he was dead. And the illest thing to me is, I always ask him, I said, yo, why didn't want nobody to see you? Why you was shot the fuck up like that? Because he's always a thinker. I never met a nigga like 50. And he was like, nah, because I don't want niggas to see me like that. Because it might affect how you feel about, you might get scared. Because he was shot the fuck up in the face, legs, arms, everything. You know, so I mean, I just tell you what's real. Like, I don't like speaking on the next niggas like that. I don't like, I fuck with you. Yeah. But I could just tell you everything was real. Like, after he got hit, riding around Mac 10 by himself, looking for niggas, looking for Preem, it was real. I seen it with my own 2 eyes. I don't get on here. I don't lie about nothing. I tell the truth. I tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like I said, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get into business like that. Like, even on Mini Men, a lot of people don't know. Slim, Chaz came and see me on a surprise visit on the island after Mini Men dropped, and he thought, he was to me, it felt like he was a little bit in fear for his life. But you know what I told Chaz? Yo, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's between you and the big homie, because I don't get in the middle of them conversations. To be a good boss, you got to be a good worker too. Like, so a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
you're
I learned, like,
about,
that's like 50 and Jimmy Iovine. One day they had lunch on top of Interscope, and this is one of the illest shits. We eating lunch on the balcony. I done been to Jimmy Iovine house right across the street from the Playboy Mansion. Shout out to Jimmy Iovine. You know what I mean? And they had a meeting, and I didn't say one word. I just sat there and I was like a sponge and absorbed everything and learned the ins and outs of more of the business.
Yeah, when you talk about the line, Slim switched sides on me,
Yeah.
let and was right on me. I thought it was cool. Why you want me to die, homie?
Right.
And I've interviewed Slim, Chaz.
But like
Chaz
I said,
Williams.
he came to Rikers and wanted to talk about it, and I was like, I don't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Why Fifth? And I was like, yo, Slim, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Cause Fifth is one nigga that could never be extorted. Like, he's watching every dollar. He don't care if you a super OG, a young shooter. He don't care about none of that. And that's how I learned. Like, I'd rather have people that I could learn from than have shooters around. Before it was like, all right, shooters, I got my niggas, da-da-da-da. But I'd rather have people that I could learn from, because all the shooters gonna do is make you hot situations. Sometimes situations get out of hand. You know what I'm saying? So I learned from Fifth. He always had people, like Chris Lighty was a street nigga, but he wasn't a super gangster. He had a nigga that actually knew the business. But me, I don't like to talk about henchmen all the time. You know what I mean? But I would have never hired henchman as a manager, because he's a street nigga. That's just my opinion. And that's what I learned from him. Yeah,
no, I purposely never had street guys around me. I've always had real security.
Definitely.
ex-LAPD, whatever else, where it's like, if someone gets shot, they will take the stand and explain, because a street guy will shoot someone and then not want to take the stand. And now you're stuck in this whole situation.
People don't understand that there's levels. That's like, you have security. Like, one of the times we had security and I was on the run, we got caught up because security didn't want to take a blame for their own gun. They had the gun in the box.
Really?
Yeah, some crazy shit.
Huh.
So I went to jail because nobody claimed the gun. So it's like,
but it was security's gun.
Yeah, it's levels to this shit.
Okay, and since you didn't want to tell on security, now you're stuck.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not, but I had a case already. I was on the run, but he didn't own up to the gun.
That's crazy.
So it's like, it's levels to the shit.
Why are you hiring him for then? Shit.
Yeah, because you get the shooters from the block, you already know what's gonna happen. The feds gonna come. You shoot 3-4 niggas, 3-4 shootings, that's enough for the feds to say, all right, let's watch these guys. And then it's on you. If you keep going, they'll let the cases build up. That's how the game go. So you might as well hire professional security. You know what I mean? Even if you look at the Pop Smoke situation, rest in peace to him, if you had security around the perimeter, around the house, motherfuckers would have kept it moving.
Oh, yeah.
You would have had him, another nigga in front of that motherfucker.
Yeah, they would have just drove right past.
Yeah. Then they have no way. So I learned that from 52, because security and, and making sure you're moving right is the main thing. Even when we overseas, there's no guns, but you got to make sure you're moving right. The way you get in the car. I tell my homie over here, Funk, all the time, when we move, I'm not used to even getting in the car slow, nigga. walking on. I ain't got. I learned from
right in the
Fifth.
car, let's go.
From back in the days, we move in the car, we jump in the car, and you never know what we in. Cause like I said, I could be in the hoopty, I could be in the Phantom. You choose. But when I'm in the hoopty, I got less things to worry about. When I'm in the Phantom, there's a chance I could be getting tailed. That's why you got a motherfucker like him in the back or at the crib. It works. Cause you know, Pop Smoke and these artists are the investment. So for me, if I had an artist that's big, my security would be a big investment.
What happened on stage at Summer Jam with the whole Slow Bucks situation?
I don't really want to get into that. You know what happened, man.
Okay.
Like, you know what happened. 50's crazy, man. Just stay away from that motherfucker. That's it. Stay away from 50. He's really like that, man. And, you know, it's no disrespect to Slow and them. We was cool at a moment, but sometimes things just change, and that's just life. You go your way, you go that way. But 50's the type of nigga, just stay away from me. He's really like that. You know, stay away from him. That's it, and it won't be a problem. If he tell you to stay away and you come, it could potentially be a problem.
I guess especially if you're on stage at Summer Jam.
Yeah, it could potentially be a problem.
Yeah.
But if you decide to do that, then that's what you decide to do. Because I don't get into between the hate and the backbiting shit, because that's what niggas in the streets do. They hate, they backbite. It could be a list of things. Talk about mad niggas and we used to be cool. Motherfucker could be on. I know motherfuckers that was in my crib, on my couch, that I consider friends, that we don't talk to. Flew around the world, gave jury. But when they feel like it's over, they gone. So you look at life different. Motherfuckers will get on the internet, talk bad about you. You know, I had assistants work for me, call people, like, had my phone. So I'm careful of how I do business. I had an old assistant that was calling people like, y'all don't work for him no more. He was calling all kind of people, models and lawyers. And I'm like, I'm not that type of person. If I don't fuck with you no more, I'm not going. If I don't talk to 50 no more, I'm not going to chill with Rick Ross. I seen Buck do that before. And that's just not who I am as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And you know, and I don't care. I don't care, because when I wake up in the morning, I realize motherfucker ain't thinking about me. I'm not thinking about you. I'm thinking about how everybody else is. How you gonna pay these bills, take care of your kids, and take care of your responsibilities as a man. I don't never wake up and think about the next motherfucker. That's why I don't go on the internet and talk about niggas and judge niggas, because I never wake up. I don't never wake up and think about a motherfucker. They don't get mad at you because that's your job. That's your job. Till it's my job, then I can wake up and think about motherfuckers.
Yeah. One of the things after our interview dropped, the one comment that I saw that I feel like really hit close to home was someone said that this interview with Tony Yayo is a masterclass in loyalty.
Right. Because I'm the type of nigga, I never watch. As long as I'm cool. You can have more money than me. I'm cool.
Right.
As long as I got money, I'm good. You might be up 100 mil, I might be up 5 mil. I feel as good as you do with that 5 mil, with that 100 mil.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So it's like, I grew up like,
right. When you're fucked up, people start to feel differently.
I'm gonna give you an example. One of my friends go to jail. I gotta send him some money. If I gotta send my man money, his baby moms, I'm not even going in the crib. I'm old school, my nigga. When you not there, and you my best friend, nigga, I ain't coming in your crib with wifey. Here's the money from the door. I'm out. Boom. My mans used to call me three-way with his girl on the phone. Once you home, your girl don't gotta call me three-way no more. I don't play them games. Because when it comes down to a nigga wifey, his baby moms, or his side chick, sometimes a nigga just wanna fuck with your girl because to make you mad. I've never been that type of nigga to play them games.
I've never understood that.
Now,
I've never messed with a friend's girl or ex-girl ever in
your
life.
side chick, whatever. There's so many women out there, but somebody want to mess with your shit because it's you.
Yeah.
Because when you a celebrity, it's you. Mm-hmm. Now, when it come to money-wise, 50 done had $500,000 there. I'm not touching that. Why? I'm going to make my money. You know what I'm saying? And I always thank Fifth. Yo, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, there's rules to this shit. Like I said, if I come and they say, yo, Vlad, I'm meeting you at your house for dinner, and you're not there yet, I'm not even ringing your doorbell.
Yeah.
I'm waiting till you pull up. I come to your crib, it could be my best friend. Yo, I could get something out the fridge. That's how I grew up.
Right.
So loyalty is just, it's just who we are as a man. Like I said, if my friend, we could be getting jumped. We got beat up, jumped together. It'd be two of us. Damn, I can't run on this nigga. The whole hood gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's loyalty is just in our genetics. people who you are. Some people ain't shit, you know?
Yeah. I remember before the interview, I was watching, you know, like with your album, there was like a DVD,
Right.
like accompaniment. And there was this one part where 50 was talking and he was saying, yeah, when Yayo was locked up, every G-Unit show, we actually put aside the money
Bro, I
for
told
him.
you.
And he had like he's like,
just
Yayo had like
told
$1
you-
million
Right.
when
I
he
just
came
told
home.
you when I came out of my building, I see the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
There was no way I was getting shot there. And this is what I kind of tell you is like, when we was talking about stacks with the Porsche, 50's not going to let you say, get the Porsche. He going to say, let's get him out the hood first. You know, if the money's there, but the money has to be there for you to live like that. The money's there. 50 didn't have to do that. Rest in peace to Hervé from Interscope, because he always said to me, man, 50 do more for you than any artist, than anybody does for their artists. More than Jay-Z. Young Guns was right there. Young Guns was right next to me. He was like, Jay-Z don't do what 50 do for you. So I always remembered all these little jewels. Like, Diddy ain't gonna do this for you. Like, pay niggas bills. Like, if you make $500,000, $250,000, because we can make $250,000 in a month, a couple of weeks. You make $250,000 in a couple of months, and you on tour as like Buck, and I talk bad about Buck, but Buck will spend, but how much you think is left when Buck get back? Out the end of the tour, if he made $250,000, we talking about just after parties. You know what I'm saying? He make $250,000 at parties or shows or whatever it is. They'll say Buck, when I was going, they say, man, Buck done spent $150 of that on the tour.
Right. Without
He
putting
done bought
money
a
aside
car
for
and-
taxes.
And then you got to think about the taxes, because this is the stuff that they don't teach you in school.
Yeah.
That's when it goes to the rich dad, poor dad thing.
Right.
Where they don't teach you about taxes and mortgage rates. When I bought my first house, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I just put down and bought a house. I wasn't thinking about mortgage rates, tax rates,
Property tax.
entrance, insurance. I wasn't thinking about nothing. I'm just like, give me this house. And then you learn down the line, mortgage rates, entrance.
You owe a bunch of money that you didn't know you owed.
Right.
Well, in this one interview, you said that you and 50 got kicked out of the studio with Beyonce.
Oh yeah, that was back in the days. That's when 50. That's right before he got shot. Thug Love, and it was a whole bunch of Brooklyn niggas, us in there, and what's Track Masters? One of them niggas came in there, was like, yo, we thugging them out. This is when they was Destiny Child, the first time, and you know they had that song. You never heard that song? A Thug's What I Want.
Yeah.
That's 50 and Beyonce.
Aha.
Yeah.
So you guys.
So
were in
he
the
was on his
studio.
way before he got shot. That
Okay.
was like,
So you were there with 50, working with Destiny's Child,
definitely.
and y'all was just too deep.
It was mad niggas in there. They was just
How deep? I
The
mean, how
Brooklyn
deep do
niggas-
you go to
50, 50 always liked the Brooklyn niggas, because back then the Brooklyn niggas, they wouldn't care. They'll get on a train. You know, shout out to all my 551 niggas. Rest in peace, my nigga Barry Plato. You know what I mean? But them niggas was crazy. Head Lalo, them niggas like, you know, them niggas who get on the train with the hammers. Like, that's when, like, Brooklyn niggas, you know, they fresh and fly like a motherfucker. But back then it was the grimy Brooklyn in the 90s. Like, scars on their face, it was coming through, big ass 357, yo, yeah, I need to rob a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Those are the niggas, face, big ass scar on his face, grimy looking, like a nigga you see in the alley, you know something's gonna happen. That's the type of niggas, and they'll jump on a train, and then the Queens niggas, you know, they was, you know, got their cell phones making money, so 50 be like, man, them niggas ain't gonna show up, man, them Queens niggas, you know, cars, but the Brooklyn niggas, shout out to all my Queens niggas, the Brooklyn niggas at that time, they was reliable. They was come 551, word mother, because, you know, Barry Plato, that was, you know, Ja, that was 50 man. I went to his funeral and everything. And listen, them niggas would get on the train, 10 guns, come to the studio. So we was with them niggas, and them niggas was straight fucking crazy niggas.
I mean, this story actually kind of reminds me of, you know, now that everyone's passed away, I could talk about it.
Right.
But I remember Casely told me a story about this one time that he had Mazaradi Fox on his show.
Rest in peace, Mazaradi Fox. That
He
motherfucker
was saying
cool.
how, you know, they're going to, you know how Sirius Radio is like a big corporate
Right.
major building in
Shit,
Manhattan.
definitely. Come
right?
on. That's the fucking
with all types of
Rockefeller.
real serious, serious
Yeah.
security. You gotta get
ID,
everything.
passport, everything.
He was saying he had Mazaradi Fox and like one or two of his homies.
Right.
They get in the elevator and all these dudes are pulling out guns.
Oh my
And Kay
goodness.
was like, yo, there's a camera right here. What are y'all doing right now?
Yeah.
And
The
it's like, yo, you know how it is. And it's like, yo, y'all need to cut this out.
Y'all niggas gonna go to jail.
Like,
You got Howard Stern.
we're all gonna get arrested right now.
Yeah, they gonna go to jail. But Mozzie was I'm gonna tell you a Mozzie story. 50 and rest in peace to Mozzie. Shout out to the dumb out niggas, all A block niggas, Merrick. And Mase had a deal with, I think it was Vol something. It was like a label that they could play music in different languages. They was like ahead of time on shit. Prodigy was with him. Prodigy and 50 had the deal for Mase. Mase was gonna sign a deal. They was gonna get him $1 million. Fresh out of, Mase, he fucking was just a hilarious nigga. He was a character. So, real nigga though. That's why they call him the Fox, because niggas try to kill him so many times. Like even when he got killed, I didn't even believe it, because I'm like, nah, that's the Fox. He never died. Like he's a nigga that just never died. So Mase, the nigga was waiting on the deal for like a while. You know the process waiting on the deal. Might be paperwork or whatever. They was gonna do the deal. Prodigy and 50 got him the deal. And Mase got so frustrated that he had the building surrounded, like 100 niggas around the building.
What?
Yo, niggas don't want to pay me. Yo, I got the building surrounded.
Yo.
So he got the building surrounded, and the owners of the Volsonic, they was like, yo, Mase got the building surrounded. They call him 50. 50 like, yo, I don't know what's going on. Whatever. I don't know what 50 said. And Mase fucked up the deal. They called the police, pressed charges. Mase fucked up $1 million deal because he's just one of them type of niggas, man. Like he hit jail, he'll run to jail, He hit the streets, he in the streets, but he did a lot of dirt. He's just a crazy nigga, bro.
That's crazy.
I told you, pull the strap out in the Apollo, like with Jimmy Hitchman. Pull the strap out. Niggas wanna do, nigga. It's the Fox, nigga. He got the hammer out, so that shit ain't like. And then the dumb outs, cause Mase he's a king manipulator. So the nigga he'll take a nigga that just got beat up, probably not like that. He'll take that nigga for 2 weeks. Now this nigga got an AK. See, some niggas in the streets, they master manipulators. They'll take a nigga that's not even like that, and a nigga will be like that in 2 weeks.
He actually builds him up like that.
Niggas that same nigga jump out the car with Mase with the AK. So when you heard he got hit, you never think he get caught slipping, because that's how Mase moved serious. North Carolina, it's mad crazy stories about Mase. Mase was like a wild boy, man.
Yeah.
And he been through it since the 90s.
Yeah, rest in peace. I've run into him a couple times. Seemed cool whenever I ran into him.
He's definitely a movie, man.
Yeah. One thing we didn't talk about last time was the whole beef with Cameron.
Yeah, no, Cameron?
Cameron.
Oh, yeah.
The G-Unit, the 50 beef with Cameron.
Right.
Which started off, I think it started on the radio.
It was the Angie Martinez interview. Yeah.
Right. And it kind of went back and forth for a while. Cameron, being a funny guy, was making like those court videos about y'all and stuff like that.
Yeah. But
and 50 was doing this thing.
Motherfuckers will say shit about Five or us, but none of it's true.
Yeah.
Paperwork, press charges, niggas this, that, because overall for New York City, look what we've done.
Yeah.
Like worldwide, we the first artists to perform in Armenia.
Mm-hmm.
We performing on multi-million-dollar yachts type shit. Like niggas are doing different type of shit. Only certain artists are gonna get $1 million a show, certain shit like that. I've seen 50 break barriers, Eminem break barriers as well. Like I said, Eminem, 50, Snoop, Dre, but Dre don't come out as much overseas. It's ridiculous. Now you got Nicki and all these other artists, Cardi and fucking Future, that are big overseas too. Don't get me wrong. All these new artists, Dirk, all these artists are big overseas. But I remember going to Dubai like in 06. Like when niggas didn't know what Dubai, Qatar was.
Yeah. I think,
Amsterdam, so it's like, it's just like, bro, what we did for hip hop and how we did it, because we kind of left the East Coast and kind of went to the West Coast in Detroit. It was like a whole big thing, bro. G-Unit, Eminem, Dr. Dre, fucking D12, Obi Trice. Motherfuckers was going platinum. Obi went platinum, 2 times platinum.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
And
he showed up on Drama Center.
Yeah, he got on Drama Center. Shout out to him. Huh?
But I remember like during the beef with Cameron, there was this time during that whole back and forth where I think 50 did a show, and was it Jim Jones and Jewels joined him on stage?
They was actually on the show.
Show, yeah.
Because 50's a genius.
Right. And I remember Cameron was like,
I remember Jim was beefing about, I had a feeling in my mind that Jim didn't want to do it, but 50's a master manipulator.
Yeah, well, I think
it was a smart move, because it was chess. It was like a move out of,
definitely chess.
It was definitely like a move out of Art of War or 48 Laws of Power.
Mm-hmm.
if you know your friend's enemies is my enemy. So I mean, like that's Cam enemy, and Jim 50 brought him on stage because he had balling and brought Jewels out. It was a smart move.
Yeah, and I think
All the
maybe
war,
at the
baby.
time, I think Jimmy had some issues with Cam or
Art of
something,
War.
so he
Fifth one
sort
that
of took advantage of that.
Listen,
and,
it was the art of war.
Yeah, because I remember
Smart move.
I remember afterwards, Cameron was like, I forgot what exactly he said, but he was like, he said he was disappointed because he was like, I wouldn't expect to see Yayo with like,
yeah, but
you know, Fat Joe or someone who 50 was beefing with at the time.
Because you know why? I'm smart enough to know that that's the art of war. 50's a master manipulator. He's a very smart guy. Like I said, some people are smarter than other people. It's a chess move.
Yeah.
And he won.
Is there a reason why G-Unit mixtapes aren't on any streaming services?
I never, you know what? I never thought of that.
They're not. And these are classic projects.
Yeah, I never really thought of. Maybe 50 doesn't care about it. I don't know. Maybe samples. I don't know, because you know we took a lot of people's samples and shit, so it probably has to be, you know, like I remember doing LL shit, Smile.
Yeah, but there were original. Well, I guess a lot of the original songs ended up on the album, so okay, I see what it is. They just don't want to clear the samples.
Yeah,
and stuff like
and
that.
you know, 50 doesn't really care about that. That got TV shows and movies, and I don't really think he really, because 50 is like 50. When you look at the music, I think he really doesn't. I'm not gonna say he doesn't care, but it's just like, man, he could just tour for the rest of his life and make $1 million a show. You know, like I said, we just did 12 countries. We went to London, Manchester, Berlin. We went to Brussels. We went to Tel Aviv, Paris. I can't even remember how many countries we went to, and it's like he's doing all this on his own, bro. The guy's a genius. Like, the guy's a genius, you know, and we went to all these countries and the response is like crazy forever, you know, man. Like the guy has classic albums under his belt, you know. Even when he wrote for Game, I remember like, this how we do and all that stuff. Like Game is a dope artist, but I remember hearing that on my condo and I looked at Fifth like, you gonna give this nigga this shit? This is how we do all that shit, hated to love it. I'm looking at him like,
these are hits.
Motherfucker, give me that shit. Or keep that shit for yourself. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. But you know, I felt like 50 blew so big, like on the West Coast, that I felt like Dre had to blow a West Coast nigga up. You know what I mean? Because Fifth was so big, we was big on the West Coast as well. Like little lines, like when the nigga said, you know, my cousin Uzi out in LA tripping through the sets again, got shot the fuck up trying to rob the wrong Mexican. I remember Cartoon, when Cartoon did his back, like niggas, like shit go down like that out here. See, so 50 was so relatable to the streets that, you know, the Bloods, the Crips, the Mexicans, everybody embraced us in LA. Because LA was like a second home to us.
Yeah.
Being in the studio with Dre and learning the gang culture. And look how far the gang culture is now. Like Bloods and Crips, like even in New York, like I know the West Coast, it's like a whole different language and shit, but the East Coast is real now too.
Yeah, I actually interviewed.
It's real.
I interviewed Mr. Cartoon.
Man, listen. Let me tell you, the gangs in New York is as real as the gangs in LA. Like it's, and you know, it transcends from these guys from the '60s, and I know the history. But now, you can't tell a blood nigga in the Bronx or Brooklyn that he not blood, because he gonna up it on you. I don't give a fuck where you come from. You could be from the West Coast, Chicago. You tell one of them little blood Crip niggas that they not that. In the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, wherever, Staten Island, wherever it is, Long Island, niggas is gonna up it on you, bro. Dead ass. So I know like I've seen the gang culture, and that all started from Rikers.
Right. Yeah. Dudes from LA getting locked up in Rikers and starting the blood sets.
Yeah,
and
that all
like that.
to me, that all came from Rikers. Like
shout out to Blue Boy, who I interviewed recently.
Okay.
You know, but you mentioned Mr. Cartoon. I actually interviewed him.
Yeah, shout to Cartoon.
And we talked about the 50 tattoo, you know, on his back.
Yeah,
and
Cartoon. I don't know what Cartoon numbers was, but it was ridiculous to get. Like, I know Prodigy. He did Prodigy's back. He did Eminem. He did 50. And
Dre, he did Beyonce.
I know his numbers are like he's, to me, there's a lot of tattoo artists out there, but I know him for being the top dog.
He's the best.
Corporated world. Yeah, shout to Cartoon, man.
And I remember when I talked to him.
When we got the tattoo, when we went to his shit, it was hoodie, man. It was like, when he took us to one of his tattoo shops, that shit was like training day. He had motherfucking Mexicans with tattoos on their face. It was some real shit. Like, Motherfuckers, biggest motherfucker tattooed. I have essays all over the place. I'm like, this shit real in LA.
Yeah, I mean, he actually told me the story how 50 came to him to get like a small tattoo, and he was like, nope. What do you mean, no? He's like, no, if you want me to tattoo you, I'm gonna do your whole back. You tattooed 50's back.
Yeah.
How did that come together?
You know, I started tattooing his producer. Who was his producer that used to do?
Shaw Money.
Shaw Money.
Shaw Money XL.
So Shaw Money XL used to come get all his tattoos at the shop, and 50 would come with them, and he would be like, "Yeah, I want you to do this. I want you," and I'd be like, "I'm cool."
Really?
I go, "Unless I tattoo your back, I'm not interested." He goes, "What?" I go, "I'm just gonna get lost into all that stuff." I go, "I gotta get the back shot." And he goes, "I don't know, man." It took him a couple times to think about it, but he came back and he goes, "Do it." And it took 2 days to do his tattoo.
Yeah. And that was classic too. Like,
you were there when that happened?
Yeah, I went to one of the sessions. That's why I told you it was mad essays back there to see what he was gonna do. But Cartoon, hands down, come on, he's like the fucking, he's here when it comes to doing tattoos. Mm-hmm. And then I started getting familiar with some of the Mexican culture in LA. And because our first times coming in LA, you can't let the palm trees and the good weed fool you out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
By the way, shout out to the
I learned that early.
Shout out to the Mexican dude in jail who beat up Eric Holder.
Oh, okay.
And gave him the black eye and cut the back of his head.
Shout to him, man.
That was a Mexican that did that, man.
Shout to him, man. Shout out
LA
to him.
loves you for that.
Yeah, LA love you, man. Salute.
Hey, before I forget, by the way, my favorite song, my favorite Tony Yayo song, which is completely solo with no features, Live by the Gun.
Oh, definitely. That's straight out of jail. I was kind of sober for that album because I couldn't really smoke. So I felt like that album could have been better, but I still feel like it's a classic. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't smoke no weed that whole album, so I was just like getting drunk and mad and was stuck in the condo on house arrest. Being on house arrest sucks, man. Mm-hmm. It sucks.
I remember last time we talked about how 50's first video appearance was in the Onyx.
Definitely. I was there for that.
You were there for that?
Yeah, definitely.
So we recently interviewed Fredro Starr.
Yeah, Onyx was one of my favorite. It was like, hands down, was one of my favorite groups.
Yep.
Until they started flipping, but it's cool.
Well, Fredro Starr is a regular guest on the show. One of my interviewers, Shirley Jew, she does an interview with him. And she actually brought up, the whole 50 thing.
Right.
And this was his response to it.
Okay.
I'm going to play it for you.
There was some beef with you and 50 over the years that we're not going to go into. But 50 actually showed up in the first music video with Onyx.
I think I told you about that story.
You're talking about some shit that's 20 years ago.
All right,
First of all.
All right, cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Good
that
vibes,
nigga got
vibes.
kids, I got kids.
Right.
If that's still beef, then I don't know. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm about to try.
Everything is good, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hopefully I'll see the nigga soon at this whole he pop up at the Queen shit, you never know. But we Queens niggas, we Southside niggas, man. You know what I'm saying?
Pop up to where he at.
Fly niggas, you know what I'm saying? We from the same neighborhood. Yeah, React was the first video.
Stop
like
it.
People don't know, like.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell you. Like, come on, the rap game, you know how it is. Shit don't get real until like artists get hit or houses get shot up. So it's all competition. Or a nigga get slapped or whatever, punched or whatever. Then I guess it get real. But like my experience with Onyx, that was crazy for me because Jam Master Jay and 50 was on a song with them. Because I remember, motherfuckers buying their first guns, being in the house. Throw your guns in the air. So I was looking at them niggas like, everybody loves Sticky. When Sticky Park come. But I remember that day. I told you Sun C got on the ice. He passed away? Oh, he's still alive. Sun C?
Hold on a second. I don't want to mess up because I think I threw out an RIP for someone who's still alive.
I think Big DS, I believe. He passed. I don't know. I don't know if it was Sun C or Big D. I don't want to put it on nobody.
Hold on. I think Big DS passed away.
It was Big DS.
Sonny C's is still alive, but he's no longer in the group.
Yeah, I know Sun C. He was one of my favorites too. You know what I mean? Because he'd get grimy, dark skinned nigga, just get crazy with it. And I told you, ever since I seen that motherfucker fall and bust his head on the fucking ice, I never fucked with that shit. I was like, man, listen, I'll never go ice skating in my life. So Onyx changed my life about ice skating. I said, you got the white folks going there, they know what they doing. Please, I said, yo, listen, I'll never fuck with that. Sun C bust is fucking, and that's when I realized hockey is some real shit. Because they went on there like they was fucking hockey players and shit. I think they had real hockey players in the video, did they?
Probably.
Yeah. So I realized that hockey shit, and I went to an Islanders game, and I realized that hockey shit is real, fighting on the ice.
Oh, yeah.
Because I told
most hockey players have missing teeth.
Right. Son, see, once he got on the ice, kill him in the club, show, boop, all you seen was blood everywhere. Call the ambulance.
Damn.
I was there for that video.
Well, I mean, I don't want to play the rest of the video if you don't want to, but basically he spoke highly of 50 and you know, shouted him out and everything else like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was there in the beginning with 50, you know what I mean? He was on that record, but, you know, sometimes it was a lot of hate coming from them niggas too, because sometimes when a nigga blow past you, it might be a little hate. Me, I don't, you know, a nigga could be, like I said, I remember being in the studio with J. Cole when that nigga was, I tell motherfuckers, I remember when Kanye West coming into the Dr. Dre studio, kicking it in 50 ear for Get Rich or Die Trying. Niggas ain't know who he was. So it's like, yo, bro, you never who gonna be the next one. I remember going to Atlanta with Shaka when Ludacris was doing radio.
It was Chris Lover.
Yeah, he was Chris Lover. I was around for that back in the day, so I seen a lot of motherfuckers blow.
You know, we talked about K-Slay, we talked about straight stunting. And one of the girls during that era that everyone was checking for.
Cubana Lust. I seen you put it. And it's terrible, because I don't know. Like,
have you seen what she looks like now?
Definitely, but you know what?
Bro, look at this.
Nah, that's crazy, but you know what? I don't like to talk about people when they down. You know what I'm saying? From what when I remember Cubana Lust, she was the girl that everybody wanted, and hopefully she'll get herself back together, because you never know what somebody's going through. So me, I believe in karma, so I don't like to talk bad about people like that. And if I have in the past, I apologize. You know, but it's just terrible. And but bad news spread quicker. That's just how life is. People like negative shit. You know, she's looking bad like that, and it's your job to do it. So, I mean, you're a fucking journalist. So I never get upset. Even if something bad happened with me, you got to report it. That's just, I learned this business. Like, you can have a relationship, but, sometimes I feel, damn, Vlad's my friend, why he post that? No, it's business too at the same time. And you got to learn it the hard way. Because I used to take shit personal. Yo, motherfucker said this about me, this about me. I was fucked up when DMX dissed me, and rest in peace to DMX, and I said some fucked up shit. And I apologize for that, because this always been a nigga that I looked up to. But sometimes it's hurtful. Because you got to remember, I came in the game looking up to niggas we had beef with, minus Ja Rule. I never looked up to Ja Rule, but like Wu-Tang, looked up to them niggas. DMX, looked up to them niggas. Like, even D-Block fucked with them niggas. You know what I'm saying? But, it was always like some kind of beef. Even Fat Joe, Jealous One's Envy, I used to rock that shit. That's why I kind of was glad when a lot of beefs were squashed, because niggas don't even know, like, I like niggas, but it is what it is. Motherfucker don't got, a wise man once told me, everybody not gonna like you in life. But that negative news spread faster. Like, a motherfucker could do charity work, this, that, give back to the community. But if he gets shot or killed, that shit gonna spread, just like the Jaydayoungan, rest in peace to him. But that negative news spread faster.
Yeah, very sad news at that. 50 Cent had that huge mansion in Connecticut.
Right.
Mike Tyson's old house.
Right. He was never there, by the way.
He was never there, from what I understand. Was he take like a helicopter into the city?
Yeah, helicopter
sometimes?
pad there. I mean, honestly, I had more parties there than him.
Okay.
So I feel like being in my experience from being in a house that big, I mean, it's cool, but after a while it gets annoying to me. You know what I mean? You in the club, you getting high, you gotta go to your room, somebody else using the elevator. I gotta go up like fucking God knows how many steps. I'm out of it. You can't find people, motherfuckers on the west side of the house. Phone connection, you can't hit them. Like, it's just crazy. To me, like, having a house that big is crazy. Like, niggas done found girls in that house. Like, parties the next day, a girl be in the closet. Like, because the closet is big enough. It's like a closet in that house, it's like half of this room. Literally.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I mean, I got a big house too, but not like that house.
You had your Mob Deep rooms, you had your MOP rooms, you had your Yayo room, Banks room, your Who Kid room.
How many bedrooms was it?
Yo, listen, I can't remember. I know.
Right, because wasn't there there was a party you guys threw there where 50 brought like 500 strippers?
Yeah, that was nuts.
That was when the Mob Deep infamous video was shot.
You know what's crazy? I got locked up for that shit.
What do you mean?
I was locked up a day before that. I was so tight.
Oh, so you didn't make it?
I didn't make it.
I
He having bad luck sometimes. That's why I be trying to. I was tight. It would have been. Was it because of the Jimmy? It might have been because of the Jimmy Henchman case. I don't know.
Right, but it was. I heard 500 strippers
Yeah,
were bust in from like all over the country.
I was tight. I now I think about it. Yeah, I was locked up. They was we had buses, and those were them parties, man. You know, those are them parties, and that house kept us out of trouble because instead of going out to the nightlife with all the beef and hip hop police and thus pulling us over, like 50 used to be like, just party here, man. So we should just have fun there. But that was one of them parties. I cried, man. I missed that one.
Didn't 50 like in one of his rooms, he like purposely like shot up the room to give it a certain type of look, or you know what I'm talking about?
What 50's doing, man. And he's just he's
like
always
there's actually bullet holes all in the room.
Probably so, but he probably did. I don't know.
Right. And wasn't there some drama with like some people that worked for 50? Like there was a shooting that happened in that house. Or just I don't
talk about
okay, fair enough.
Know. I never heard
just
of
a bunch of bullshit to the point
was
where 50.
New. There's so many rumors about the house that you just never know.
50 ended up dumping the house at one point.
No,
right?
I mean, I just feel like it was just. I think it's just too big. Like sometimes, you know, people look at them big mega mansions, like it's cool. It's cool. It's cool for some people, but I think after a while, 50 was like, man, this is too much. Like finding the girls in your closet 2 days later or a day later, camped out. That shit is ridiculous. You know, or going to the other side of the house or trying to find people. Even going up, like when motherfuckers used to crash on the motorbikes, because you used to have like 100 motorbikes there. And they was the push start 300 cc's. Wow. Motherfuckers then broke ribs. I remember Mase foot came off. That was crazy.
Wait, his foot came off?
The bottom of his whole foot was off.
Damn.
And then, you know, everybody's tough until they hurt, till bones is broke. So it was just funny because Mase whole foot came off and, you know, ambulance came and they was like, we about to put alcohol in. And Mase was like, G-Unit. And I was like, you know, motherfuckers always gotta play tough, man. He's like, G-Unit.
People are dying right now on the side.
G-Unit. He had his shoe was off, the whole skin was off. Because them bikes, I didn't fuck with them.
Right.
They said Shy Money broke 3 ribs.
Yeah.
They said they found him, he had raccoons all over him. Shit. Yo, it's fucking crazy. They found him in the woods. I wasn't there for that. I was there for the Mase. So I left the bikes alone. I was like, man, I ain't fucking with them shits.
Yo, not the raccoons.
Then we had somebody else. Break their theme up. They flew on it was so lucky. He flew in the yard. I forgot what it was. He flew in the yard and he broke his theme up, but the doctor was a bone doctor. Uh-huh. And that motherfucker was like, give me some sugar. I was there for that. Ugh. I don't know why he wanted sugar, but he broke his steamer. His cousin, man, the nigga was knocked out like a baby. They was about to call an ambulance. So I left the bikes alone. It was a lot of man downs. Man down. Man down.
Shout out to Lil Duval, who same thing just happened to him.
Oh, yeah, I seen him on a bike.
He broke his hip.
He's gonna be fucked for a minute, man. Get better.
Yeah.
Damn, he was supposed to come to Tycoon, man. I don't know if you're gonna make it now, man. Damn, Lil Duval, get better. Fucked up Tycoon weekend, but it's still gonna be rocking. Tycoon.
Isn't G-Unit and Terror Squad doing like a basketball tournament?
Maybe so. I'm not sure. There's a lot of stuff going on. Tycoon week. You should come. Tycoon weekend. Bring your security. It's gonna be crazy.
Okay.
We doing it in Houston. It's the Houston Takeover comedy show. All kind of parties. You know, we got all kind of movies and actors and basketball team and football team owners and all these people coming. Shout to 50, shout to Branton, Vodka, Lashem. I got my mixtape coming to Loyal. The podcast, I think I might have to do it with Vlad because these other people was playing. I'd rather do it with the money man over here.
Right. Well, because actually 50 just announced a partnership with the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Shout out to
you know, you talk about liquor.
Yeah,
like
because we just
thing,
was in Vegas. We had something at Dreas. We had a pool party and had his birthday party, and there was a lot of summer league games there. So he was out to the with the owner of Sacramento Kings and shout to them and shout to him. And you know, like I said, meetings like that, I just keep my mouth shut. I wasn't even there for that, but I would shout out to the Sacramento Kings, man. Shout out to the whole Houston.
Yeah.
You know, you should come to Tycoon. It's gonna be a movie, man.
I'm gonna come through.
Yeah, come through. You got big guy right here.
That's right.
Nobody messing with you.
So what's coming up next for Tony Yayo?
Well, I got the music coming, The Loyal Now. I got a lot of big artists on there.
What people don't realize, you only have one album.
Definitely.
One official album.
Yeah, but a million mixtapes. Because you got to understand, when my album came, my second album, they advanced me for it. Thanks Interscope. They paid me anyway. And that's when, you know, we started, everybody was going to leave. Like 50 was going to leave, you know. Because you know how 50 is, man. He's just the type of guy that, a lot of artists, like, when you got a guy like Jimmy Iovine, you're just going to do what they say, you know. And shout out to Jimmy Iovine. He's the man. But like in Dr. Dre with the headphones and stuff like that, 50's he's a hustler. He never had no parents, so he's gonna make his own headphones or his own vitamin water. Or and I don't know how this works, if he's supposed to usher deals or do deals, but if you get the deal on your own, it is what it is. I don't know. These guys are my heroes. Jimmy Iovine, 50, Eminem, Dr. Dre. Because I watched and learned a lot from these motherfuckers as well as a lot of motherfuckers in hip hop. But he never had no parents, bro.
Yeah.
His moms, died when he was younger, never knew who his pops was. So it's different for him, man. That motherfucker grind different. He grew up with his grandparents, so they were stern, but, he was running the streets and always had his grandmother, rest in peace to her. I know, prayed for him. She used to have the Sunday church cakes there every week. And his grandfather, I know, that's where he talks shit from him because his grandfather talk hella shit.
Oh, really? That's where he gets it from?
Yeah, and grandma's like the quiet, you don't know what the fuck is going to happen. Like, when I used to spend the night over there, I don't know how she was looking at me. She just give me that look sometimes, and because I'm on a run on the couch.
Did they ever find out who killed his mom?
No, I don't know. I'll get into that. Back in the days, in the 80s, a lot of people,
you don't know what the fuck happened.
A lot of people's parents got killed, and there was no cameras, a whole different ball game. So a lot of shit was like unsolved, and especially in the 80s, because we talking about millions.
Okay, so you got a new mixtape coming?
Yeah, it's called The Loyal.
The Loyal.
Yeah, I actually gonna drop I'm gonna drop all these projects independently on my own because I realized you can make a lot of more money independently like I used to. But I mean, I started writing more when the COVID came.
Okay.
So I really wasn't in the right mode because, I go overseas, make hella money, come back and be good. So I really wasn't into the studio or the music. But then you heard what I said on Banks. I got better. I started fucking around because it was COVID, wasn't no shows. So I had more time to write and get, my thoughts together. But I got all kinds. I got El Micho coming after that.
What
I might drop the El Micho project.
What does El Micho mean?
It's a drug cartel guy. He's like new generation cartel.
Oh, okay.
Because, I'm fascinated with all that shit. So I'm the one that started the El Chapo wave. And then a lot of motherfuckers started doing the El Chapo. You look back, I had El Chapo 1, 2. So now I'm doing a Loyal mixtape, which is done. I got Banks on there, Presser, Murder. I got this kid from Detroit on there. I got some pieces. They're going to be happy with it.
That's what it is. Tony Yayo, man, always a pleasure when you come in.
VladTV.
You know what I'm saying?
Part 2, we had to do it again.
Part 2, we did it again.
Let's
the first one was a classic.
Like. Yeah.
We're going to keep doing it.
And I had a lot of people that want to do interviews and shit. And I'm like, man, I got to do Vlad again because the way the streets loved it,
Hey, this is what we do. We
keep it up. Come on.
That's what it is. Till next time, Yayo.
Till next time, we got to do it again, man.
Peace.
Peace.